Douluo Dalu summoning the Holy Spirit Sect. From the beginning, this video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyright or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 76. Dark Davis. After several months, Nian'an finally succeeded. Don't worry, what I said counts. On the huge dragon bed, Nian'an gently brushed her smooth shoulders. Pa. The next moment, she was slapped away. Tianxing glared at Nian'an, and the anger in her eyes was not concealed at all. Nian'an, you cold and ruthless man, are you happy now? I tell you, I will never forgive you. Forever. Looking at Tianxing's back as she left, I asked myself, is this state really what Nian'an wanted? No. Except for the period of empire development, Nian'an often felt lonely. If she didn't want to harm me at the beginning, it would be great. I wouldn't have pushed her to this point. It's a pity that my heart is not generous enough to tolerate a woman who wants to kill me. Becoming 2627. This year, Nian'an is almost 8 years old, and Tang Maozhen, the protagonist of the Douluo continent world, is already 2.5 years old. After half a year of development, the Ming Empire actually did not make any big moves on the territory of Douluo continent. But overseas, the military bases are no longer limited to Xiaoyao Island. In just half a year, more than a dozen have been expanded. It has not yet fought with the Sun Empire. Xingluo Empire, Xingluo Palace. The scene was silent. It was supposed to be a happy day for the eldest Prince Davis of the Xingluo Empire to return from studying abroad. However, Davis's progress in studying abroad at the Sunday and Moon Royal Soul Instructor Academy of the Ming Empire did not receive the approval of the old emperor. Moreover, the eldest Prince Davis was directly pressed to the Royal Ancestral Temple. It took you a year to learn the knowledge of the first-level soul guide. Do you know how much money the Xingluo Empire spent on sending you to learn soul guides despite so much foreign debt? Is this how you treat the Xingluo Empire, me, and my Xingluo royal family? Davis' body trembled instantly after hearing Daoshen's words. Father, I'm not lazy. I am trying my best to learn the knowledge of soul guides every moment. Facing Davis' explanation, Daoshen simply couldn't listen. The son of his old rival, the Crown Prince Xiaoyao of the Tianzhou Empire, even the Wuhan Hall, and even the Tianxing Kingdom. They are all second-level soul guides. They all studied abroad for the same period of time and had the same teaching quality. Why did they develop faster than the Xingluo Empire? He couldn't accept the fact that his son's talent was mediocre. Then tell me, why are the people from the Tianzhou Empire, the Wuhan Hall, and even the Tianxing Kingdom, who started school at the same time as you and had the same quality of teaching, second-level soul guides? Stay in the Ancestral Temple and reflect on yourself. Davis' hands and feet were cold. Since he was born, he has been compared with the one on the opposite side of the Tianzhou Empire. The one on the opposite side was born before him, older than him, and more sensible than him. Fortunately, he is better than him in martial arts talent. But now, he lags far behind in soul guide talent. He was already tired of competing with this person or that person every day. Most importantly, he didn't dare to resist Daoshen. Night. Davis knelt in the Ancestral Temple. Suddenly, a sound of footsteps rang out. Have you heard? The third prince's talent in martial arts is higher than that of the eldest prince, and his innate spiritual power is 1 level higher. His Majesty was very pleased and granted him a palace on the spot. In the dimness, Davis heard a burst of conversations. The third prince, the third brother. Bai. Has he awakened his martial arts? Yes, as the eldest brother, I haven't seen him for almost a year. Thinking of this, Davis couldn't help but feel that he owed his younger brothers something. Fortunately, he returned from studying abroad and brought back a lot of good things, which he could bring to them tomorrow. Ahem. Royal affairs are not to be discussed. Just as the discussion outside the Ancestral Temple was still going on, a feminine cough suddenly rang out. After a while, a pale eunuch walked in with a group of people. Your Highness, it's late at night. His Majesty asked me to take you back to rest. Davis breathed a sigh of relief after hearing the words behind him. Turning his head. Thank you, eunuch. The old eunuch waved his hand. Your Highness, you have to understand His Majesty's good intentions. His Majesty is willing to spend so much money to let you learn the knowledge of soul guides. The national situation is so difficult now. It is conceivable that His Majesty loves you. Davis nodded and didn't want to talk so much. He walked outside. Wood Hall. Wood Hall was Davis's bedroom before he went abroad to study. It was also that bedroom of the crown princes of the Xingluo Empire. Living here represented the status of the princes. Just as Davis imagined returning to his hall as usual, he just arrived at the door of his hall and found that it was brightly lit. There were also a lot of clothes and toys that were obviously not his own, but children's. Davis walked in with a confused face and observed it. But he didn't wait for long to observe. A little kid about 15 or 16 years old appeared at the door. "Who are you? Why are you in my room?" Turning his head, Davis stared at the little kid. "Your room? Isn't this my room?" The next moment, the little kid pointed at Davis. "You're talking nonsense. This is a reward from my father when he saw me awaken my martial spirit." Davis felt cold inside when he heard that. He was just studying abroad. How could he come back and even lose his position as the crown prince? Get out, I don't want you to come to my room." Before Davis could say anything, the little kid came and pushed him. Soon, many palace maids and eunuchs gathered. "Shame, this is simply a shame." Davis' face turned red. Slap. Without any hesitation, he slapped him directly. "This is my room, you should get out." Wow. The noise rang out instantly. Davis felt cold inside. "Father, you can't be so partial. For the future of Xingluo Empire, I lived under someone else's roof in the Ming Empire and worked hard to learn the knowledge of soul guides. I was so tired that I couldn't sleep all night. On the workbench, the carving knife cut my finger and the blood stained the soul guide core. I didn't expect to come back. Everything that originally belonged to me was taken away by my younger brother." "Why are you so ignorant? This is your younger brother. Your younger brother is still young. He doesn't know anything. What does he know? He just wants a big room of his own. He is still a child." The accusations of the father and the mother made Davis silent. In the end, Daoshen and Davis made a gentleman's agreement. After Daoshen became a third-level soul guide, he was made the crown prince. The price was that Davis gave up the Wood Hall now. In a blink of an eye, the new year arrived, and the heirs of various countries found a problem after returning. That is, after leaving the Sunday and Moon Royal Soul Guide Academy of the Ming Empire, they did not have the materials for soul guides at all. So they sent people to search for materials all over the continent. Chapter 77. Tear up the UN Charter with bare hands, punch Tianxing, and step on Xingluo with feet. Chapter 77. Tear up the UN Charter, punch Tianxing, and step on Xingluo. The raw materials for the soul guide were soon found. The location is the Kingdom of Xiaoyao, which is located to the west of the center of the continent and opposite the Kingdom of Barak. It was the country that cried poor and asked for support during Nian'an's first military parade. During the Ming Dynasty military parade, he cried poor and asked for support. When the Ming Dynasty held a Soul Guide Academy, everyone else participated, but he didn't. Now oil has been discovered in his territory, no, it should be special metals, anyway, it's almost the same. The news spread quickly. The Kingdom of Xiaoyao has been a little confused recently. Many people have come to their iron mine, offering high prices and importing their iron ore in large quantities across borders. For a while, the iron ore department made a lot of money, but it didn't last long. The Kingdom of Xiaoyao heard rumors from the Ming Dynasty garrison opposite the Kingdom of Barak that the amount of this iron ore is very small and very precious. It is the most precious core metal for building soul guides. In an instant, the kingdom's army appeared, directly requisitioned the iron ore, and returned all the money. For a time, the price of iron ore soared at a rate of doubling every minute. Since this is the only special metal mine cave for soul guides discovered so far, the Ming Empire does not sell it at all, only complete soul guides. Complete soul guides are expensive, so other countries can only settle for the second best, buying metals from the Kingdom of Xiaoyao, making them themselves, and researching soul guides. In 2627, the Kingdom of Xiaoyao spent 20 million on military investment to rapidly expand its army to 500,000 because of the soul guide metals, and became the second largest military power at present. Of course, if a real fight breaks out, it is still a little insufficient to face the two old empires. This is just a paper force. 20 million gold soul coins, if it is exchanged for silver soul coins, it will be 200 million, and if it is exchanged for copper soul coins, it will be a full 2 billion. 2 months later. Sun Moon Royal Soul Guide Academy opened. Zhu Nian'an's soul power is level 59. 3.5 months later, on Zhu Nian'an's 8th birthday, his soul power at this time has reached level 60. On his birthday, Zhu Nian'an directly absorbed the only million-year soul ring in his system space. The million-year soul ring directly gave Zhu Nian'an a level 60 soul power, which was raised to nearly level 70. At the same time, the United Nations Conference was opened again. This time Zhu Nian'an did not show up. The reason why the United Nations Conference was opened was that the Kingdom of Xiaoyao, which had recently invested a lot of money and rapidly expanded its army, had taken action. The reason was that there was a territorial dispute between the Principality of Douluo and the Kingdom of Xiaoyao. The two countries fought on the same day. 3 days later, the Principality of Douluo, as one of the United Nations, directly mobilized international aid. At this point, the United Nations Conference was opened. In 3 days, the Principality of Douluo was directly beaten to the capital. In response, the Ming Empire expressed strong condemnation of the Kingdom of Xiaoyao, but the Ming Empire had no intention of sending troops at all. Although he said that he wanted to maintain peace on the mainland and be a mainland police or something, but one thing is one thing, who will go with you if you don't have money? To be honest, if you don't have money, you will waste air when you're alive and waste land when you die. It is impossible to play the emotional card. Zhu Nian'an did not intervene because he did not fancy the land and money of the Kingdom of Xiaoyao and the Principality of Douluo. But it does not mean that the Xingluo Empire, the Tianzhou Empire, the Wuhan Hall, and even the Western Alliance United Nations did not fancy it. In court, they stated that they would support the Principality of Douluo, quell the unrest, and maintain peace on the continent. Douluo Gongzi of the Principality of Douluo directly announced his suspension of school at the Sun and Moon Soul Instructor Academy. Because Douluo Gongzi has a good network of people in the Sun and Moon Royal Soul Instructor Academy, a humble attitude, and like the Ming dynasty, he has been invaded and bullied by other countries. It immediately attracted many people's empathy. So at Douluo Gongzi's call, thousands of soul instructors went to the Principality of Douluo to repel the invaders. Among these thousands of soul instructors, few were 10 years old, most of them were first-level soul instructors, and there are more than 300 second-level soul instructors. At the same time, Mingde Hall also dispatched a full 27th-level soul instructors. These teachers did not participate in the battle. It belongs to the role of supervising the battlefield and protecting students. That's right, although the Ming Empire did not say that it would join the battlefield, it tacitly allowed the students of the Sun Moon Royal Soul Instructor Academy to go, which was equivalent to indirect training. The group of students who entered there could not have any casualties. Yes, it was so domineering. Zhu Nian'an originally thought that this farce would end soon. But I don't know what happened. Maybe it was because the Ming Empire fought against Xingluo and Tianzhou Empire, the two old empires, and they haven't recovered yet. The Kingdom of Xiaoyao resisted for 2 months. More than half of the 300,000 joint forces were lost. The army of the Kingdom of Xiaoyao increased instead of decreasing, from 500,000 before the war to 800,000 after the war. This number made the Xingluo Empire shudder. Seeing that the Antonio province of the Xingluo Empire suffered heavy losses and was about to become independent, the Xingluo Empire was the first to withdraw its troops due to financial pressure. Finally, it was the Tianzhou Empire, and then the Wuhan Hall. In the end, only the 3 countries of NATO were maintaining the final peace. But their army could not threaten the Kingdom of Xiaoyao at all. In the end, the Douluo Principality lost nearly half of its territory, and the Xingluo Empire lost nearly 100 kilometers of mountainous areas. It can be said that it is a typical case of losing the lady and the army. Therefore, the second UN meeting for this dispute was opened. In addition to the UN representatives of various countries, a special person came from the Kingdom of Xiaoyao. Chris, Colonel, is also that king of the Kingdom of Xiaoyao. Li Zhao, United Nations. My Xingluo Empire has withdrawn from the dispute between the Douluo Principality and the Kingdom of Xiaoyao, and also requires the Kingdom of Xiaoyao to withdraw from the territory of my Xingluo Empire. My Tianzhou Empire has also withdrawn from this dispute. My Tianzhou Empire requires the Kingdom of Xiaoyao to return the captured soldiers of my Tianzhou Empire. Facing the targeting of many countries, Colonel sneered and slowly walked onto the UN podium. He faced the thousands of people's criticism with a cold brow. Before my speech, I think I have to do one thing. Then, Colonel took out his charter of joining the United Nations and slowly tore it off. You hypocritical people, you bully me when I am weak, and retreat when I am strong. United Nations, what a joke, you were gangsters, wolves in sheep's clothing. If my kingdom of Killikrease had not been strong enough, I'm afraid you would have succeeded. I tell you, not only will I not return the land and prisoners of war, we will continue to retaliate against you. After a long speech, Colonel coughed. Looking at many countries in the United Nations. My kingdom of Killikrease swears here. Declare war on the Xingluo Empire. Declare war on the Tianxing Empire. Declare war on the Wuhan Hall, the three countries of NATO and the United Nations. Back then, the Ming dynasty was able to trample you bandits under its feet. I believe that my kingdom of Killikrease can do it too. And at the same time, announce the start of World War II. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 78, Level 70. Boom. It exploded. The moment Colonel K's declaration resounded in the United Nations, representatives of all countries were dumbfounded. My goodness, what is he doing? Declare war on 90% of the countries and forces in the United Nations. Why does it feel a little familiar? I remember. The man who shines in Xingluo and Tianxing. On that day, he also declared war on all the countries in the continent under the attention of the public. Could it be that the nightmare will reappear and the world will be shrouded in the haze of the Warring States period again? When Nian'an heard the news, Nian'an was also confused. My goodness, this Colonel K, how come he looks so much like an old friend in his previous life? He dared to declare war on the whole continent because he had a system. What did he have? Pure African blood. But to be honest, the previous kingdom of Killikrease was the battle point between the two empires during the Warring States period. Although the economy has not been good for many years. However, the millions of people living there are almost all soldiers. After all, under the background of the Warring States period for so many years, if the people of that place were weak, the kingdom of Killikrease would have been destroyed long ago. Your Majesty, 3 kings from the Western United Nations are asking for an audience. Your Majesty, the envoy of the Tianxing Empire. Your Majesty, the envoy of the Xingluo Empire. Not long after the United Nations meeting ended, Nian'an knew that Colonel K, a madman, had declared war on 90% of the countries on the continent. Envoys from various countries, or leaders, came to Nian'an with a mission. They wanted to hear the opinions of the Ming Empire. Ming history. Less than 2.5 years after the Ming Xiaoyao led the Ming Empire to end the Warring States period, the kingdom of Killikrease was beaten up by many countries because of territorial disputes. After resisting for 2 months, it showed its sword to 90% of the countries on the continent. Nian'an would not deliberately change the history of the Ming dynasty, just as he would not deliberately cover up his crimes. It was done, so what? What's more, in his eyes, he was right. Your Majesty, what do you think we should do about the matter of the kingdom of Killikrease? Nian'an refused to meet with all the envoys of all countries. The kingdom of Killikrease was just a small matter. Nian'an didn't care at all, and he didn't want to join this war. What a joke, how long has the Ming Empire been recuperating? Seeing that there are millions of newborns every year, isn't it digging its own grave to go to war at this time? Although the strength of the Ming Empire is not enough for all the forces on the continent combined, Nian'an's goal is not limited to the Douluo continent. Now is not the time to take action. It's just right to use the kingdom of Killikrease to contain them, and we take the opportunity to recuperate. The moment Nian'an said this, the pattern of the Douluo continent had already been established. Nian'an was not going to participate in this so-called World War II. 3 days after the end of the United Nations meeting, the Kingdom of Killikrease and the Kingdom of Pelu signed a non-aggression pact and formed a star-destroying coalition, 1 million. The appearance of 1 million troops instantly made the world quiet. The Xingluo Empire panicked. You know, the war between the Xingluo Empire and the Ming Empire had already consumed most of the Xingluo Empire's resources. Now the Xingluo Empire has only 400,000 troops. The Kingdom of Killikrease did not give the enemy time to rest and recuperate. On the second day of announcing the formation of the Star-Annihilating Coalition, it directly launched a surprise attack in Antonio Province. The entire territory of the Douluo Principality was occupied, even with the support of the group of little guys from the Sunday and Moon Royal Soul Instructor Academy. However, the first and second level Soul Instructors could not change the situation at all. The king of the Douluo Principality could not bear the humiliation, and in the hall where the Douluo Principality and the Tianxing Kingdom discussed the terms of defeat, in front of the 12-year-old Douluo master, he took poison and committed suicide. No, no, father. Master Douluo knelt on the ground, holding his father's robe tightly with both hands. Douluo II, since your father is dead, please sign the terms of defeat of the Douluo Principality on your behalf. The people of the Tianxing Kingdom were not moved at all. On the tall military uniforms, there were pairs of indifferent eyes. If you had known this earlier, you should have given up the territory directly. Now that the iron cavalry of the Kingdom of Tianxing is stepping on your face, you start to regret it. Impossible, compensation, a large amount of compensation, and becoming a vassal of the Kingdom of Tianxing. Seeing the indifference between countries, countless little potatoes of the Ming dynasty burst into tears on the spot. Teacher, why is this? Why can they take it for granted? Aren't they invaders? Shouldn't they feel guilty for their actions? A child in his early teens with a second-level soul mentor badge on his body burst into tears. Because they're a weak country. Weak countries have no human rights. The situation of my Ming dynasty was thousands of times more difficult than their country. The difference between us and them is that under the leadership of your majesty, the Ming dynasty won and became the Ming Empire that all countries on the continent must submit to. And they, the 7th-level soul mentor of Ming Hall, did not continue to speak, but the meaning was self-evident. Master Douluo signed the humiliating defeat treaty. Facing the alumni of the Sun Moon Royal Soul Instructor Academy, he bowed deeply. Thank you all for your help. Although the Douluo Principality was defeated this time, Douluo will never recognize it. Later, under the oppression of the Kingdom of Tianxing, Antonio Province had no choice but to declare independence. On the third day after Antonio declared independence, the Seven-Nation Coalition, mainly composed of the Xingluo Empire, the Tianzhou Empire, the Western United Nations, and the Douluo Principality, formed a million-strong army and started the first battle in the territory of Antonio. No, if the Wuhan Hall is included, it should be the Eight-Nation Coalition. You can say that the Xingluo Empire and the Tianzhou Empire are bad, but you can never say that they are weak. Under the efforts of the main forces of the two empires, the million-strong army of the Kingdom of Tianxing was defeated step by step, with heavy casualties, and all the territory of Antonio was returned. The army of the Kingdom of Tianxing also withdrew from the Principality of Douluo. Is the Kingdom of Tianxing weak? Of course it is not weak. It can resist the attacks of most countries on the continent for so long at this time. There is definitely a saying. Unfortunately, he was too arrogant and didn't know how to be patient, and he offended so many countries at once. Under the oppression of the Eight-Nation Alliance, the shortcomings of the Kingdom of Tianxing were fully exposed. 1 year later, that is, in 2628. In the Ming Emperor's palace. Bang. Level 70. After a year of precipitation, Nian'an's cultivation broke through to level 70. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing the main task of the Emperor's invincible cultivation. Before the age of 10, achieve the Soul Saint. Reward, 1 million year of active soul ring x1. 1 million year soul bone enlightenment x1. Emperor Sword. Title Emperor Sword, 100% suppression of all weapon spirits. To be honest, he has been in seclusion for nearly a year. Now he is 8 years old and almost 9 years old. As soon as he came out of seclusion, Nian'an began to understand the recent situation of the Kingdom of Tianxing. Chapter 79. 3 years later, the story begins. It would have been fine if he didn't know about this. Once he knew about it, Nian'an almost laughed out loud. Colonel X's Kingdom of Tianxing had been defeated in every battle against the Eight-Nation Alliance. Now all their troops have been driven back to their own territory. Not only that, they have lost dozens of kilometers of their own territory. This is the difference between a small country and a million-strong army of a big country. Not only in equipment and logistics, there are many differences. No, this is not just a few differences, it is the difference between heaven and earth. If it weren't for the uneven division of territory by the Eight-Nation Alliance, they all had their own little thoughts in secret, and everyone wanted to occupy the metal mines in the Kingdom of Tianxing. It is estimated that the Kingdom of Tianxing would have been beaten to the capital by the Seven-Nation Alliance. But because of this, it gave Nian'an the opportunity to intervene. Nian'an really looked down on the resources of the Kingdom of Tianxing. However, when he saw the unified union of all the countries on the continent this time, he suddenly felt a little unhappy. What was the purpose of making the two empires sign a treaty of defeat and give up their colonies, dependencies, kingdoms? Wasn't it to disintegrate the minions of the two empires? Now that this situation has occurred again because of the United Nations that he built, Nian'an is very unhappy. To put it simply, Nian'an wants the relations between countries on the mainland to be a little chaotic. It would be best if countries have grievances and can restrain and counter each other. In this way, the kingdom of Covet cannot be destroyed by the 8-nation alliance. It would be best if the kingdom of Covet in the south makes trouble, and NATO in the north also makes trouble. In this way, the Xingluo Empire and the Tianzhou Empire will have no time to make trouble and develop. Thinking of this, Nian'an smiled. 3 minutes later, a soldier or deacon of the Holy Spirit Church in a black robe appeared. Your Majesty. Nian'an looked up. Tell you Fire Phoenix sent to provoke the anger of several provinces around her and the Xingluo Empire, and take the opportunity to participate in the anti-star plan to relieve the pressure on the kingdom of Covet. The good show is about to begin. The Xingluo Empire and the Tianzhou Empire want to quickly get rid of the kingdom of Covet. Impossible. World War II has just begun. If you want to win it, you have to pay at least some painful price, right? As long as there is war, there will be casualties. During this period, except for the Ming Empire, there will be pensions for the dead in battle. The two empires and many kingdoms did not have any, unless they had military merits or special talents, but even so, they would be exploited layer by layer. Why is there no pension? What a joke. In this era, it is the duty of every citizen to protect their own country. The upstart from the distant east, the Queen of Tianjing slowly took off her red silk gloves and prepared to join World War II. Suddenly, rumors spread in several provinces of the Xingluo Empire around the Tianxing Kingdom, and public resentment rose. What a coincidence! At this time, the Xingluo Empire was ready to take down the kingdom of Covet in one go, increase the number of troops invested, and ask for troops from the 4 provinces. The Xingluo Empire asked for troops from the 4 provinces, plus the recent rumors, and the crowd exploded instantly. Many people in the Heaven Realm were inciting in the rear. When the Heaven Realm Kingdom's army crossed the border and came to the 4 provinces to fight for peace and refuse war, they staged a tragic scene of a father's death in the war, a son's death, and an old mother left alone to guard her hometown. A large number of people in the 4 provinces began to protest, and slogans rejecting war were posted all over the corners. When the Xingluo Empire reacted, the 4 provinces had already started a collective strike. The people of the Xingluo Empire were dumbfounded. Xingluo Empire. There are bad people among the masses. Before the second call for troops began, the logistics of the Xingluo Empire had collapsed. The kingdom of Covet, far away in the Western Theater, and its ally the kingdom of Pelage were instantly ecstatic when they received the news. Invite the Heaven Realm Kingdom to join the Star-Destroying Alliance. The Heaven Realm Kingdom refused and pulled them to join the Anti-Star Alliance, and began to accuse the Xingluo Empire of enslaving them in the Warring States period. Especially, when the children of Xingluo's high-ranking officials were on the battlefield, they didn't have to go to the front line at all. The children of ordinary people are all military merits, promotions and salary increases, while my own children work so hard that they can't even save their lives. After that, some problems also appeared in the 8-nation alliance. The people of Xingluo Empire had begun to pretend to be sick and hide their children to refuse military service. At the same time, the Kingdom of Silvers and the Tianzhou Empire also had conflicts. During the sweep period of the 7-nation alliance, the 4th prince of the Tianzhou Empire, Zhuben, killed the most beloved youngest son of King Silvers because of a trivial matter. And at the compensation banquet, he did not show the slightest apology, his face was full of sarcasm, and he did not treat King Silvers as a human being at all. This made King Silvers furious, and he withdrew his troops on the same day, and said that this matter would not end. The Western Alliance and the United Nations prosper together, and suffer together. Within 3 days of the withdrawal of the Kingdom of Silvers, the Kingdom of Hargondaze and the Kingdom of Hadrian withdrew their troops one after another, with a total of 250,000 troops from the 3 countries. In 1 year, the war casualties were 50,000. Due to problems in the Northern Kingdom, the gradual weakening of the logistics of the Xingluo Empire, and the broken relationship between Xiao and Tianzhou, the Tianzhou army had no way to retreat, and the Kingdom of Covet seized the opportunity and launched a counterattack. For a time, Antonio, who had just become independent, bore all the anger of the Kingdom of Covet, and the entire territory was lost. The 200,000 troops of Tianxing were isolated and helpless, and the Xingluo Empire itself could not figure it out. The relationship between Xiao and Tianxing was broken, and there was no way to retreat, so they chose to surrender. As long as you surrender quickly, sadness will not catch up with me. For a time, the situation on the mainland began to become chaotic again. Seeing that the eight-nation alliance, which had seen a clear situation after a slight move by himself, collapsed in an instant, Nian'an silently raised a corner of his mouth. Nian'an set up a bureau, summoned leaders of various countries, and said only 5 words. Don't fight anymore. The Cold War began. As time went on, although Nian'an mediated, frictions between countries continued. The Silver's Kingdom, which is closest to the Heavendo Empire, was about to fight the Heavendo Empire several times. But in the end, they succumbed to the pressure and endured it. 3 years later. In the blink of an eye, 3 years have passed. 3 years later, Nian'an is already 12 years old, and the protagonist of Douluo continent, Musan, has also begun to awaken his martial soul. Because of the words of the blind Douluo Tao that the blue-silver grass wastes the martial soul, Musan's fate began to change. At this time, Nian'an had already arrived at the Xingdo Great Forest early. Your Majesty, the soul hunting team that the Spirit Hall has recently secretly formed has been found after our tracking and investigation. Roar. Under the moonlight, a young man with long black hair, handsome face, and wearing a black dragon robe slowly raised a smile at the corner of his mouth. Listening to the roar of the beast in his ears, Nian'an looked up and looked at the blood-red full moon in the sky. Old Long, I may have to trouble you a lot later. But the space around the young man trembled. No trouble, everything your Majesty likes belongs to your Majesty. Under the moonlight, the Ming flag fluttered. Recently, the Ming Empire received news from the Spirit Hall that the Pope of the Spirit Hall, Bai Dong, was preparing to hunt a 100,000-year soul beast. To hunt a 100,000-year soul beast during this period, Nian'an didn't even need to think about it, he knew who Bai Dong was going to hunt. The reason why he came here today was very simple, he came to intercept. Chapter 80 Intercepting Xiao's Mother. Deep in the Xingdo Great Forest, 2 figures, one big and one small, shuttled quickly through the forest. A closer look revealed that both of them had long hair, and the younger one was tightly hugged by the older one. They were a mother and daughter. However, the mother was obviously injured, and her walking posture was a bit strange. But whoosh whoosh whoosh. At this moment, 3 sounds of breaking through the air suddenly exploded from behind. Where are you running? A feminine voice rang out, and the next moment countless golden lights emerged and quickly shot towards the mother and daughter. Bang! With a violent explosion, the mother and daughter were suddenly blown away. But the mother still held her daughter tightly. Wah. Sobbing sobs slowly resounded in the silent Xingdo Great Forest. The line of sight began to shake slowly, and the towering peaks, broad chest, and charming face slowly showed the maternal brilliance. Xiao, who had rabbit ears on her head and had been protected in her arms before, slowly raised her head. Tears fell one by one. Mom, I'm sorry, it's all my fault, I'm the one who caused this. Before Xiao could finish, her mother stuffed something into her hand, and then a powerful force suddenly burst out from her body, throwing Xiao away. Take this, life, and walk your own way. Swish. After saying that, a tear fell from the corner of Xiao's mother's eyes, but she stood up resolutely in the end. She must resist. Even rabbits bite when they are anxious. If she doesn't resist, her daughter will have no chance to live. Whether for her daughter or for survival, she must resist. Tap tap tap. Listening to the footsteps getting closer and closer behind her, Xiao's mother wiped the tears from her face. Whoosh! The moment she wiped her tears, 3 sharp claws instantly grabbed her in the darkness. Whoosh! But Xiao's mother bent down, revealing a perfect arc, dodging easily, without any hesitation, she kicked directly. Bang! In the darkness, a dull male voice came out, and the next second, a person was knocked away. Before she could adjust her position, a golden fist glove hit her abdomen heavily. Bang! Swish! The golden light that arrived first directly broke through Xiao's mother's plain clothes, revealing her snow-white skin. Feeling the pain on her face, Xiao's mother raised her hand and wiped it. She didn't know any cut had been made on her face, and blood dripped. After knowing that this was not a soul skill that she could resist, Xiao's mother did not hesitate at all. A golden light was emitted from her body from inside and outside, and soon, her small body was wrapped in golden light. Invincible golden body. Buzz buzz buzz. Bang puff puff. Facing the strong attack, Xiao's mother used her own unique skills, and the invincible golden body directly withstood it. Golden body. Such a strong energy fluctuation. Seeing that he could resist his attack, Douluo's eyes narrowed instantly. He raised his hand, and a piece of metal petals condensed instantly. Bang! Xiao's mother waved her hand casually. She directly knocked the metal petals away, looked at Douluo and sneered. You can't stop me under my invincible golden body. After hearing his words, a beautiful woman in white gauze holding a scepter in the center of the three smiled. She raised her hand and slammed the scepter into the ground. Tap, tap, tap. The next moment, the sound of high heels stepping on the ground resounded, and 8 deadly spider claws stretched out from behind. Death struggle. Bang. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A beautiful silhouette was left on the spot. When Xiao's mother opened her eyes, the next second, the beautiful young woman appeared in front of her, and the two were almost face to face. 6th soul skill, eternal injury. Bang. 8 spider claws stretched out from behind and quickly stabbed at Xiao's mother. Then Xiao's mother watched helplessly as the golden light on her body was broken and black wounds appeared on her chest instantly. It's a pity that my 6th soul skill ignores all physical defenses. It's over. Soon, your daughter, the little rabbit, will come to accompany you. The beautiful young woman bent her waist, and the 8 spider claws on her back pressed down fiercely, and her high heels stomped on the ground. The next second, the beautiful young woman suddenly ejected, and the 8 sharp spider claws on her back instantly revealed an attacking posture. Seeing that she was about to succeed, the corners of the beautiful young woman's mouth slightly raised, revealing a cheerful mood. The movements of her hands could not help but speed up a bit, and the sharp spider claws were about to pierce into the body of Xiao's mother. In the silent night of the Xingdou Great Forest, the full moon was dyed blood red. Countless soul beasts were wailing. My Xiao, you must, life. Xiao's mother closed her eyes in despair, waiting for her own death to come. Buzz. Yin. The next second, a dazzling golden light suddenly fell from the sky. Domineering, strong, dazzling, and a general who was so coercive that people dared not look directly at him. Directly and forcibly divided the battlefield. Faced with the sudden situation, the beautiful young woman's pupils shrank fiercely. The sharp light, the white skin exposed on her body, made her stop in midair, unable to get closer. Seeing that she would be more seriously injured if she didn't retreat, the beautiful young woman had no choice but to retreat with anger and unwillingness in her eyes. Buzz. Buzz. Yin. The next moment, with the sound of dragon roars, the light faded bit by bit. When the golden light gradually became weak, the object in the golden light also appeared. This is not a dragon creature, but a long sword carved with dragon scales and a whole 5-clawed golden dragon. The long sword floated quietly, but it exuded a domineering, powerful, and incomparable powerful sword intent. Who? With the beautiful young woman's burst of laughter, figures slowly walked out of the dark. They were wearing the same black robes, exuding a powerful aura. They were all above level 85, and there were nearly 30 soul duos. Swish. After sensing the aura of this group of people, the beautiful young woman's pupils shrank again. The Ming Empire, Holy Spirit Church. The words came out of her mouth. Soul Hall, Pope Bai Dong. A person walked out slowly from the crowd, glanced at Bai Dong and the other two, and sneered. P.S. Is there anyone else? Chapter 81 The Feeling of Oppression from the Ming Empire. Chapter 81. The Sense of Oppression from the Ming Empire. Since you know that I am the Pope of the Spirit Hall, what do you mean? Bai Dong glared at the people who surrounded her. Bai Dong was not unfamiliar with the man who came out, or rather, the other party's name was unusually loud in the Ming Empire. The Dean of the Sunday and Moon Royal Soul Instructor Academy, the titled Douluo, the 9th level Soul Instructor, Ming Lei. Your Highness, isn't our meaning clear enough? Ming Lei did not reply. The one who spoke was a man in the crowd who was holding an umbrella in the dark, revealing only half of his handsome face. Although the man only revealed half of his face, the fact that he let the soul Douluo hold the umbrella and the black 5-clawed dragon robe on his body all represented the man's identity. The Ming Empire, the black dragon robe, this is the characteristic of the Ming royal family. Even if they are not from the Ming royal family, they are people of extremely high status in the Ming Empire. But the other party is so young, how could it be possible? At the moment the young man appeared, the dragon-patterned sword in the air seemed to sense the arrival of its master, and quickly flew towards the man, turning in a circle in joy. Hearing the man's words, Bai Bai Dong's eyebrows twitched. Because she didn't know the man's identity, she didn't dare to act rashly. If it were other empires, Bai Bai Dong would definitely not give them face. Because the soul masters of other empires did not develop as many, advanced and fast as the Spirit Hall. But this is the Ming Empire. According to data investigation, the Ming Empire started the era of full-name Soul Masters as early as 3 years ago. It is said that the number of Soul Masters registered in the Ming Empire exceeded 1 million 3 years ago. So, you, the Ming Empire, are going to snatch the soul beast that my Spirit Hall has set its eyes on? Bai Bai Dong looked ugly. It is obviously irrational to conflict with the Ming Empire now. Moreover, she doesn't want to, because the Ming Empire has too much influence. There are many followers. It can be said that as long as the other party is willing, other countries will not hesitate to boycott the Spirit Hall. We are allies. Your Majesty the Emperor of the Ming Dynasty and I have been friends for many years. You don't want to embarrass your Emperor, do you? Helplessly, it is not certain that they can win the fight now. Who knows whether the Ming Empire has deployed a title this time, or has hidden something else in secret. Bai Bai Dong took the lead in playing the emotional card. Hehe, this is really embarrassing. My soul spirit tower is going to take in a batch of 100,000-year soul beasts and make them into 100,000-year soul spirits. Hereby, I have obtained the promise of your Majesty that I can kill them first and report later, and the imperial power has granted it. As the first 100,000-year soul beast body taken in by my soul spirit tower, this person will be taken away by my Ming Empire. The soul spirit tower can copy countless soul rings without a time limit. Your Holiness, you don't want to let countless people on the continent not use 100,000-year soul rings because of your own selfish desires, right? As the Pope of the Soul Master world, you won't be so selfish, right? Emotional card? Nian'an used moral kidnapping in return. Snap. Snap. Crack. Bai Bai Dong clenched her fists tightly together, staring at the black dragon-robed boy under the black umbrella. What if I don't give it to you? Swish. Under the black umbrella, the half-smiling face suddenly turned cold. If your Holiness the Pope doesn't want to give us face, we will of course take necessary measures. It's normal for casualties to occur when hunting 100,000-year-old soul beasts in the Stardew Great Forest. It's normal for the Pope of the Spirit Hall and the 2 elders to die in the Stardew Great Forest after being attacked by multiple 100,000-year-old soul beasts. Threats, naked threats. To be honest, if Nian'an didn't want to reveal his identity, Nian'an wouldn't have been talking to Bai Bai Dong for so long. Bai Bai Dong's face was very ugly. Then I wonder what this adult's name is? Hearing this, Nian'an spoke without hesitation. A beam of light from the Doming Lighthouse, the current master of the Soul Tower, Nian'an. Swish. In the dark night, the black umbrella moved up slightly. A handsome face was revealed. I'll remember you. Let's go. Bai Bai Dong took a deep look at Nian'an, and then left with Douluo and Douluo. In the forest, 3 figures rushed. Your Excellency the Pope, are we really going to give up the 100,000-year soul beast like this? That's a 100,000-year soul beast. Although it has transformed, it doesn't have a 100,000-year soul ring or a 100,000-year soul bone. Bang! Before Douluo could finish his chaptering, the next moment, he was hit by Bai Bai Dong in front of him and flew away. What else can you do? Can you beat the Ming Empire, or nearly 30 soul Douluos led by a 9th level soul Mento, or a 99th level peerless Douluo who is at the same level as the strongest old guy in the worship hall? Swish. Douluo and Douluo's eyes widened instantly. 99 level peerless Douluo. What, just now, there was such a peerless master hiding in the dark. Who is Nian'an? He actually has the same treatment as the Emperor of the Ming Dynasty. Bai Bai Dong's eyes flickered, and her expression was uncertain. No matter whether it was the Emperor of the Ming Dynasty, Nian'an, who sent people to the Xingdou Great Forest to ensure the accuracy of hunting the 100,000-year soul beast, so he mobilized the peerless Douluo. Or the Soul Spirit Tower Master Nian'an has a special status. Anyway, Bai Bai Dong doesn't dare to fight him now. The 6th and 7th priests of the Wiccan Hall, Tianxing and Jiang are still guarding the border of the Ming Dynasty. I will remember this grudge. When I complete the task and achieve the supreme, I must be the first to attack the Ming Empire and show my sword. On the other side, deep in the Xingdou Great Forest, looking at Bai Dong's back as she left, Nian'an slowly walked out of the range of the black umbrella. Looking up, Nian'an, the mother of Xiao, smiled at the pitiful, seriously injured and dying Xiao under the moonlight. She slowly stretched out her hand and pinched the flawless chin. There was endless anger in Xiao's mother's eyes, and she glared at Nian'an. Facing this anger, Nian'an just smiled and then spoke coldly. You don't want your daughter to fall into the hands of humans like you. Be good and obedient, you can see your daughter again. If you don't obey, I dare not guarantee it. Don't doubt it, I have the strength to search the entire Xingdou Great Forest and catch the little rabbit that just transformed. After hearing Nian'an's words, the resentment in Xiao's mother's eyes disappeared instantly. No, don't. She looked at Nian'an and the large group of human soul masters behind Nian'an in fear. Tell me your name. Tell me your name. Facing the pressure from Nian'an, Xiao's mother's chest rose and fell violently, and it was difficult to breathe. Xiao. Promise me not to hurt my child, I am willing to go with you. Hearing this, Nian'an smiled, revealing a strange smile in Xiao's eyes. The next second, Xiao heard Nian'an's voice. You have no choice. It is known that Xiao's mother gave birth to Xiao before she transformed, and Xiao's father cultivated for more than 100,000 years and went to the core area of the Xingdou Great Forest. That is to say, after the transformation, Xiao has no man. And after the transformation, the human body is original. P.S. Is there anyone? Chapter 82. Remember this. 2 months later. Nottingham. Xiaoyao, you are the only hope of my holy soul village. You must be diligent, you must work hard, you must be strong, you must take the only light of the holy soul village and become a soul master. On the street, a hunchbacked old man with white hair was talking to a boy with short blue hair, cloth clothes, and a middle-parted hair. The boy looked at the bustling streets and the hunchbacked old man with tears in his eyes, and a touch of sadness surged in his heart. Grandpa Jack, don't worry, I will work hard to become a soul master. Let's go to the hotel, you rest for a night, and go back to the village tomorrow. After hearing the words of the boy with the middle-parted hair, old Jack smiled awkwardly. Ha ha, silly boy, hotels are for rich people, and poor people like us, it's impossible in this life. Tag tap tag. At this moment, a series of crisp horse hoof sounds instantly rang out. In the distance, a group of people wearing fur-garner horses, wearing flying fish clothes and holding embroidered spring swords came quickly. Get out of the way, get out of the way. Everyone, get out of the way. If you don't want to be hit, get out of the way. Wherever this well-trained team went, the crowd dispersed. After a while, a huge flag slowly unfolded in the distant sky. The sun and the moon, countless people on the street, the moment they saw this flag, their pupils quickly contracted, and their whole bodies began to tremble uncontrollably. Bang! The envoy of the Ming Empire has arrived, everyone who sees it, kneel down. The cold voice resounded. Bang! 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 Then, without any hesitation, on the streets of Nottingham, anyone who heard this sentence and saw this flag knelt down on both knees. Along the way, everyone who saw and heard it dared to obey. Swish! The old Jack, who was in his 70s and 80s, did not hesitate at all, followed the crowd and knelt down swiftly. Seeing this scene, the boy with the middle part had a look of deep confusion in his eyes. Grandpa Jack, what are you doing? Get up quickly, you're already in your 70s or 80s, why are you still kneeling? It will be very bad for your body and mind. Seeing that he knelt down, but the boy with the middle part did not kneel down, old Jack was also a little anxious. Xiaoyao, kneel down quickly, otherwise you'll get into trouble. As he said that, old Jack stood up without any hesitation, pinched the back of the boy's neck and pressed down. Stupid, the boy with the middle part was stupid. He didn't understand. In the ancient feudal era, kneeling to the sky, kneeling to the earth, kneeling to parents, kneeling to teachers, and even kneeling to the emperor himself could understand. But this random person wanted to make him kneel, why? No, Grandpa Jack, I won't kneel. Tag tap tag. Seeing that the sound of horse hooves was getting heavier, old Jack's eyes flashed with anxiety. Alas, kid, why are you so stubborn? You won't lose a piece of meat if you kneel down. This is the flag of the Ming dynasty, the flag of the Ming Empire. If we offend them, not to mention the two of us, even the Holy Soul village will be dug 3 feet deep, the dogs will be slapped 3 times, and every ant hole will be filled with mercury. The Ming Empire. This was the first time that a strange empire appeared in the mind of the boy with a middle part. As far as he knew, his province was the Fazno province, which was under the jurisdiction of the Tianxing Empire. What country was the Ming Empire? He was a citizen of the Tianxing Empire, so why should he salute the Ming Empire? Thinking of this, the boy with a middle part felt more confident. No, Grandpa Jack, we won't kneel. As citizens of Tianxing, we have no obligation to salute other countries. Old Jack was so anxious that his beard was shaking, but there was nothing he could do. He really couldn't resist the stubbornness of the boy with a middle part. In the end, the two of them were discovered by a huge and luxurious carriage guard. 2 people in black robes walked over with expressionless faces. Why don't you kneel? Not far away, the luxurious carriage stopped. Why should I kneel? Faced with the question, the boy with a middle part asked directly without hesitation. Are you blind or deaf? Didn't you see the sun and moon flag of the Ming Empire, or didn't you hear the explanation of the soldiers in front? Inside the huge luxurious carriage. Sensing that the carriage stopped, Nian'an slowly opened his eyes. The void beside him trembled. Interesting, I didn't expect that this shitty noting city would actually have a titled strongman stationed. After hearing the word from the man in the void, Nian'an raised his eyebrows. Noting city. It seems that I slept for a long time. The curtain of the carriage was opened a corner, and Nian'an saw the quarrel outside the carriage clearly. Why are you talking so much nonsense with them? Since they don't kneel, we can just help him. At this point, a man in a black robe suddenly pulled out his whip and quickly hit the boy. No, military commander, we'll kneel right now. Facing old Jack's plea for mercy, the man in black robe sneered. Too late. Snap. The whip exploded in the air. The boy with a middle part narrowed his eyes, a purple light flashed in his eyes, and he chuckled. Xiaoyao hand. With a turn, the boy's hands became snow white, like jade hands. He grabbed the whip that was still in the air, like a fierce venomous snake. Inside the carriage. Seeing the purple light in the boy's eyes, and the fact that he could catch the whip of an adult man at will, Nian'an's eyes shrank fiercely. Especially the 3 words Xiaoyao hand that the boy just said. It's him. Nian'an recognized the other party's identity. After all, at this age, there could be no one else who could use this kind of move except him. Nian'an opened his mouth, and an order instantly came out from the carriage. Not long after, outside the carriage, a person wrapped in a black robe moved. How dare you? Do you know what crime it is to delay the messenger's business? Seeing the person coming from behind, the 2 guards stepped back. The boy with the middle part raised his head. Before he could see the person in front of him clearly, the size 40 shoe kicked him in the face. Pa! The boy with the middle part did a 360-degree backflip on the spot without any dead angle and spun around. Wowla! Paji. After spinning 7 or 8 times, he landed heavily on the ground. The size 40 shoe print appeared on the other person's face, which was red and swollen. In the dark, a dirty figure hidden in a brown robe slowly clenched his fists. Finally, he slowly loosened them. Sana, you were a talented and opinionated person, but your temper is too strong and you don't know how to be tolerant. The first lesson for entering society is to learn to be tolerant before you have enough strength. I hope you can remember this lesson deeply. The faint voice rang out, but the eyes of the man in the brown robe were fixed on the man in the black robe who attacked the boy with the middle part. The murderous intent in his eyes was not concealed at all. Bang! San, are you okay? What answered old Jack was the cold eyes of the man in the black robe. Beat them, teach these 2 unruly people a long memory, let them remember them in flag. Chapter 83 Tianxing, Bullying the Weak. After a round of punches and kicks, Nian'an's carriage started again. Nian'an did not kill the other party immediately. The other party was the son of destiny. It was easy to kill him, but Tang-san would appear today, and Tsing-san and Li-san would appear tomorrow. Nian'an might as well just keep an eye on Tang-san. As long as the other party was under his surveillance, there would be no problems. The plot would remain the same, and there would be no loopholes. However, if the other party was killed, it was estimated that the next plot might change. What's more, with Nian'an's plan 6 years earlier, even if it was the son of destiny, what would the protagonist group do? What kind of waves could they make? My lord, have some tea. In the luxurious carriage, a woman in a white maid outfit slowly knelt down. The mature body and charming eyes wrapped in the white miniskirt, plus the other party's kneeling posture, just enough to see the unintentional scenery. Nian'an squinted his eyes. Xiaoyao, I promised you, I will definitely do it. Be good, don't worry. Noting Junior Soul Master Academy. An old man and a young man came with bruised faces. Damn it, too damned, even the elderly are beaten. They don't even let a 6-year-old child go. These people are really beasts. Old Jack's mouth twitched after hearing Tang San's words. Sana, stop complaining. If others hear this, then my Holy Soul village will really get into big trouble. Also, you should listen to me next time. If you don't listen to the old man, you will suffer in front of you. In the school inside, under the big tree of Noting Academy, a strange group holding black umbrellas stood quietly. Little Xiaoyao. Suddenly, the young woman holding the umbrella widened her eyes, looking at the little Liliter in pink clothes and a pink rabbit clip on her head, jumping towards the dormitory area in the distance. You have seen the person too. At this moment, a faint and indifferent voice rang out under the black umbrella. Hearing this indifferent voice, the young woman in maid clothes trembled. We will listen to you. After hearing Xiao's words, Nian'an's mouth corners rose wildly. Compared with Xiao, the so-called heroine, the little lily of the airport, Nian'an is still interested in Xiaoyao, a woman who shows a mature and graceful body after transformation. After all, who can refuse the achievement of being the father of the son of destiny? Although this father is a cousin, not a biological father, but hearing the other party say, Dad, this, how great. No, it can also be a biological father, like Yin. If it is properly operated, it can still be transformed, right? That night, Nian'an did not stay in Noting City, but left Noting City at night. The Ming Empire. Whether in other empires, kingdoms, or even principalities, the sun and moon flag is absolutely useful. As long as there is no problem with the brain, basically stay away from this flag. Not to mention the attack on the team of the Sunday and Moon flag. Since Nian'an ascended the throne for so long, such a thing has never happened. The local army wanted to surround the people of the Sunday and Moon flag team, fearing that they would be harmed. Not to mention being attacked, it has never happened before. Otherwise, digging 3 feet into the ground, catching all the dogs within 100 miles to eat dog meat hot pot, and filling all the yand holes in Noting City with mercury is not just talk. I believe that with the character of the Ming Empire, it can definitely do it. Nian'an really didn't expect that after so many years, he would encounter an attack again. The Ming Empire's convoy was speeding on the official road outside Noting City. In the dark night, a pair of piercing eyes suddenly opened in a brown robe. Buzz swoosh. The next moment, a fire suddenly appeared in the sky, and a red light from the west cut through the night sky. It crashed directly into the convoy. Bang boom. Enemy attack. Enemy attack. Enemy attack. Protect the adults. Swish, swish, swish. In the dark night, 3 figures quickly flew in front of Nian'an's carriage. Yellow, purple, blab, 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 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 blab, 8 soul rings appeared, and they were 3 soul fighters. In the convoy, in the huge pit in front of the carriage, a huge blood-red hammer appeared, under which were 2 long deflated corpses, and in front of it was a black robed man who was still trembling all over. The black robed man stretched out his hand tremblingly, and the next moment, in the huge pit, a brown robed man sitting on the huge hammer raised his foot indifferently. Bang puff. The head exploded like a watermelon. Since you like to bully the weak so much, then I will play with you. The man jumped off the huge hammer. 1 step down. Yellow, purple, blab, 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 red, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 blab, and 1 red, 9 soul rings slowly fell from the top of the head. The terrifying pressure of the title swept the whole place. Sensing the opponent's momentum, plus the blood-red 9 soul ring, the 3 soul duos instantly became nervous. Title duo, damn it, how is it possible in this place? It's bad, if something happens to the Lord behind us, even if we all die, it's hard to avoid the blame. Why are you here? After a long time, one of the 3 soul duos slowly walked out and questioned the title duo in front of him. I don't like your style of doing things, so I want to beat you up and kneel down to me. Inside the carriage. After hearing Tang Xiaoyao's words, Nian'an smiled. This is clearly to avenge his son. Is it necessary to be so high-sounding? Crash. The carriage curtain was slowly pushed open. Nian'an and Xiaoyao slowly walked out. I know why you came. It's for the kid, right? Your Majesty Yoshin. Shwa. Tang now waved his hand, and the huge hammer behind him flew into his hand. Since you know everything, then stay here. Whoosh! Tang now quickly rushed towards Nian'an, leaving only a trail of after images. Tang Dao, before you do this, I want to advise you to think carefully about the price of offending my Ming Empire. When the time comes, let alone your days of hiding, even the Asian sect that retired because of you can't afford it. If you don't believe it, you can try it. Unfortunately, Nian'an underestimated Tang Dao's ignorance. Tang Dao started his wandering life early. Because of Yan's death, he was decadent for 6 years. In these 6 years, he didn't care about worldly affairs, and this was not the Ming Empire. Tang Dao didn't feel the power of the Ming Empire at all. When the Ming Empire rose, Tang Dao had already started to live a life of drunkenness and dreams, so how could he understand the power of the Ming Empire? Don't worry, thank you for your reminder. Today, none of you will leave alive, so no one will know. It is obviously irrational to offend a country, but as long as everyone here is killed, no one will know. This is Tang Dao's style of doing things. Chaos Cloak. Bang. 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 Tang Dao swung the hammer and quickly smashed it towards the 3 soldiers in front of him. Puchi. 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 The first weapon spirit of the continent, the Clear Sky Hammer, plus the top hammer method, the Chaos Cloak Hammer method, almost instantly broke the defense of the 3 soldiers. The battle ended in a second. Swish. Nian'an's body flashed with golden light, and a long sword appeared in his hand. But the blood-red light shone, and a soul ring with 2 life patterns began to shine. First soul skill, Golden Dragon Slash. Buzz in. Nian'an drew out the Dragon Emperor sword in his hand, and a stream of sword energy shot out instantly. The moment the sword energy shot out, it turned into a giant golden dragon, roaring towards Tang Dao. Chapter 84: The collision between the Emperor Sword and the Clear Sky Hammer. Chapter 84: The collision between the Emperor Sword and the Clear Sky Hammer. In the silent night, a golden light suddenly lit up. The golden light shone brighter and brighter until it covered the entire night sky. Roar. A loud dragon roar resounded through the world, and then the golden light slowly condensed and formed, and a mighty and domineering dragon head and a huge dragon body appeared instantly. Swish. In the dark night, Tang Dao suddenly widened his eyes and raised the hammer in his hand. Chaos Cloak. Swish. A blood-red light flashed. The golden dragon rushed towards Tang Dao fiercely. Bang puff. Ah. The giant hammer hit the golden dragon's forehead heavily, and a loud noise was heard, which seemed to make time stop for a moment. But not long after, the golden dragon swallowed Tang Dao with a crushing momentum. He hit Tang Dao heavily on the ground. Bang. Crack. The light faded away, leaving only a huge pit. A figure stood in the pit. The opponent was holding a hammer, and his clothes were torn, looking a little embarrassed. Xiaoyao. As the red lightning flashed, an unknown momentum suddenly exploded around the opponent's body. Nian'an narrowed his eyes, and then a strong pressure erupted from his body, slowly releasing the huge soul power in his body. Level 79. The Dragon King sword in Nian'an's hand became brighter and brighter as soul power was injected, until finally, a huge dragon soul slowly condensed. Red, 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 gold, a terrifying configuration of 5 red and 2 gold soul rings appeared. Swish. Seeing the momentum erupting from Nian'an and sensing Nian'an's cultivation, Tang Dao narrowed his eyes. An ominous premonition suddenly surged into his heart. 5 blood-red 100,000-year soul rings, and 2 golden soul rings that he had never seen before. Either the other party used something to cover up his real spirit ring, which was fake, or he really provoked some awesome existence. But, whether it was the 3 upper sects or the princes of the 2 empires, they would not be so outrageous, right? Could it be that the Ming Empire was more powerful and awesome than the Xingluo and Tianzhou empires? Thinking of this, Tang Dao couldn't help but look in the direction of the Ming flag. It didn't matter if he didn't look. When he looked, Tang Dao suddenly found that there was a young woman under the Ming flag. The young woman was wearing a white rabbit-made outfit, which was very strange. It's not that the other party's dress was weird, but that the other party revealed a strong demonic aura in his eyes. No matter how many times he sensed this familiar feeling, he would never forget it. 100,000-year soul beast transformed. If he could have someone of this status serving him, then the spirit ring on his body should not be fake. Could it be? But how is this possible? Not to mention a person from an empire, even the Wuhan Hall, which has the most in-depth research on spirit masters on this continent, may not be able to have 500,000-year soul rings. Tang Ai was sure and very sure that he had never met Zhu Nian'an. He also didn't know what the Ming Empire was. However, no matter if there was really a big force behind this person, it could affect him and his son, and it could really cause trouble to the retired Tianxing sect. These people would not be able to see the sun the next day. There was also the 100,000-year soul beast that transformed, which could be left as a spare soul ring and 100,000-year soul bone for his son in the future. Watching Tang Ai fall into silence for a long time, a terrifying killing intent burst out from his body. Zhu Nian'an understood. It seemed that the other party had never considered his threat from beginning to end. In this case, then there was no need for him to worry about whether the series of operations after killing Tang Ai would change the plot. Second soul skill, sword intent infinite. Swish. The second blood-red soul ring on Zhu Nian'an's body rose. Yin. 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 With the loud dragon roars, golden spots of light slowly lit up around Tang Ai. The next moment, the light spots seemed to be summoned, and the dense light spots quickly released golden sword energy and slashed towards Tang Ai. In the sky, a green leaf fell. Where the golden sword energy passed, the cut was extremely neat, and the sharp sword energy easily tore the cloth on Tang Ai's body, breaking through his bronze skin. Just when the sword energy was about to go further, the severe pain made Tang Ai frown, turn around, bend over, jump, close his eyes. Tang Ai moved his huge body, seemingly clumsy, but accurately dodged every sword energy attack from Zhu Nian'an. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, Tang Ai was only 10 meters away from him. The mental power of the titled Douluo was indeed powerful, and it was not comparable to himself who had just become a soul saint. All the sword energy seemed to be sensed by Tang Ai in advance, and he dodged perfectly, with only some superficial injuries at most. Take my hammer. Bang. Tang Ai's attack speed was very fast, very fast. It took less than 3 seconds from the time he raised the huge iron hammer to the time he smashed it down. Zhu Nian'an disappeared from the spot, leaving only a large pit smashed by the iron hammer. The third soul ring on Zhu Nian'an's body lit up, and he flashed away, leaving a shadow on the spot. 1, 2, 4, 8, in the blink of an eye, a dense crowd of clones appeared on the scene. Tang Ai immediately discovered that his attack did not hit the target, and the hammer was still on the ground, but his eyes kept turning, watching the clones of Zhu Nian'an appearing around his body. Swish. Choke. When they all drew their swords and rushed towards him, Tang Ai did not hesitate at all, and suddenly raised the hammer and smashed it heavily on the ground. Shake the earth. Bang. The surface of the earth was like an earthquake, countless land was blown up by the roots, and the closest Zhu Nian'an clones that were surrounding him exploded directly. Tang Ai's eyes were red, and a blood-red killing intent gathered around him, and it lasted for a long time. Soon, he found Zhu Nian'an's body in the center of the murderous intent. He stared at Zhu Nian'an. Feeling this look, Zhu Nian'an secretly said that it was not good. The first of the only 2 golden, million-year soul rings on his body suddenly rose. 6th soul skill, 10,000 swords returned to the origin. Swish. With the burst of golden light, countless sword energy condensed, and the sword energy slowly condensed into sharp golden long swords. In a blink of an eye, they were densely packed, breaking into tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and reaching millions. Big Zoomy hammer. Tang Ai now raised the hammer in his hand without any hesitation. The next moment, 9 soul rings of yellow, purple, black, and red were put on the giant hammer. Bang. Crack. Countless golden long swords and the huge hammer collided instantly. The sound of the long swords breaking, and the sound of the long swords cutting Tang Ai's skin continued one after another. Bang. Boom. Countless golden swords merged into one, and finally recondensed. A huge dragon soul roared behind Zhu Nian'an. The power of the collision between the Emperor Sword and the Clear Sky Hammer instantly began to cover a large area. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 85 Success, Yin. Emperor Sword. Relying on the characteristics of the martial soul, the exclusive title, and the 100% suppression of the weapon martial soul, Zhu Nian'an began to suppress Tang Ai in a small range. But this was only temporary. In fact, Nian'an had already lost. When the Emperor's sword came out, he actually used the martial soul's true body. But Tang Yao didn't. Not only that, Tang Yao had not used the secret of the great humor hammer, the ring explosion. It seemed that Nian'an had the upper hand, but in fact, Nian'an, who was at level 79, was simply unable to take on the battle of the title. Although he hit 500,000-year soul rings and 2 million-year soul rings, the gap in soul power and the suppression of realm unavoidable. To be honest, you should be the strongest soul sant I have met since I was born. Of course, a soul sant is a soul sant after all, and that's it. Tang Yao looked up, and the fighting flames in his eyes still did not stop. Compared with Nian'an's young man, Tang Yao's middle-aged man has the advantage of endurance. After the young man Nian'an went up and inserted randomly for a while, he was exhausted. Tang Yao is different. He seldom uses spirit skills, and mostly uses skills. Ha 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 ha. Hearing this, Nian'an laughed, and laughed wildly. After the fighting spirit in his eyes dissipated, it was full of contempt and disdain. Tang Yao, don't think that you are so awesome for being the youngest in the continent. Calling you Asian is giving you face. If I don't like what you say, I won't give you face either. Then, when Tang Yao was puzzled, Nian'an said something. It's not your 50 years old that is powerful, but my 12 years old. Tang Yao achieved the title at the age of 44. At the time, Tianxing was born. Now Tianxing is 6 years old. 6 years have passed, and Tang Yao is already 50 years old. Nian'an is at least 3 or 4 times older than him. Nian'an didn't feel any pressure in his heart when he couldn't beat the other party. If the other party was the same age as himself, or if he was the same age as the other party, Nian'an would kill the other party like slaughtering a dog. Of course, the reality is that Nian'an can't beat Tang Yao now. However, what is more realistic is, with Nian'an's status and position, he can fight with you when he is happy, but you are nothing when he is unhappy. Tang Yao has no qualifications to talk to him. He lost his face, but what about you? You lost your life. Because of one action, you have to cause endless troubles to thousands of people in the sect behind you. Hey, kid, I think you are crazy. Maybe you have a high status in the Ming Empire, but, so what, it is useless to me. Now, I want you to die, and you have to die. Facing Tang Yao's threat, Nian'an just smiled faintly. You can try. Bang. Whoosh. The next moment, there was a loud explosion in the air. My lord. In front of Nian'an, a woman in a maid outfit appeared, shrouded in golden light. Invincible, before she could activate her life spirit skills. Nian'an looked coldly at Tang Yao, who jumped up and smashed towards her with a huge hammer in his hand. Old long. Just 2 simple words, the space in front of Nian'an quickly twisted. An old man dressed in black, with a head full of white hair and a dignified face slowly walked out. The old man looked up and glanced at Tang Yao lightly. He silently raised his hand, and his soul power vibrated. After a while, the old man's right hand was instantly covered with circles of dense black dragon scales. Seeing this scene, Tang Yao sneered. Arrogant, you actually want to catch my clear sky hammer with your bare hands. Bang. When the huge clear sky hammer hit Long Xiaoyao's right hand heavily, something happened that made Tang Yao's eyes widen. Ripples appeared in the air, and Long Xiaoyao actually took this attack forcibly. Not only that, there was no sign of injury. How is this possible? Facing Tang Yao's surprised questioning, Long Xiaoyao did not answer him. He just silently stretched out his hand, and the next moment, countless dark soul powers began to condense. Breaking Sky Claw. Bang Puchi. Long Xiaoyao's attack speed was very fast. Tang Yao had no time to react, and was hit by the attack in the next moment. His whole body was wrapped in a huge force, and it quickly fell to the ground like a kite with a broken string. Bang. After hitting the ground, 3 deep claw marks appeared on Tang Yao's chest that were visible to the bone. Oh, wow. Tang Yao opened his mouth and spit out countless blood. This attack speed and strength are not ordinary title Douluo. Is it, Super Douluo? Oh, stronger than the 95th level Super Douluo. Tang Yao looked up. Just as he looked up, a figure quickly broke into his eyes. Bang. Buzz. Tang Yao's ears were buzzing, and Long Xiaoyao's fists fell like raindrops. After a while, the teeth in his mouth fell off, and Tang Yao's face became all bruised and swollen. Gradually, he lost his consciousness. Tang Yao secretly said that it was not good. The hidden injury from 6 years ago recurred at this critical moment. This is simply bad news. If this continues, I will definitely die here. No. Xiao-san has awakened his twin martial souls, and I have hope for revenge for Yin. I can't let it go. No matter what, today, he must life. The ultimate secret of the great humor hammer, exploding ring. Swish. As a blood-red soul ring rises, powerful energy gathers crazily in an instant. Yin, let me love you again. Bang. Boom. The violent explosion sounded throughout the world in an instant. Only a big pit was left on the spot. When the smoke and dust dissipated, the huge wings condensed by Long Xiaoyao's soul power slowly retracted. Run away. Zhu Nian'an's voice was a little uncertain. After hearing Zhu Nian'an's words, Long Xiaoyao replied. If he rashly uses such a large-scale damaging spirit skill, there must be significant side effects, and he won't be able to run far. Hearing this, Zhu Nian'an's face was uncertain. Zhu Nian'an didn't expect Tianxing to come and assassinate him. No matter what, the other party did want to kill him, so don't blame me for attacking him, the Awakens sect, and even Yin. Thinking of Yin, Zhu Nian'an's eyes turned. Don't worry, chase him to death in secret, and see him alive, or dead. A few days later. Somewhere in a secret, desolate valley. Xiaoyao, covered in blood, slowly knelt in front of a huge blue-silver grass. Yin, something happened recently. I seem to have provoked someone who shouldn't be provoked. I didn't expect that the power of the Ming Empire would be so strong. The two empires bowed, and even the spirit hall had to bow its head. The blue-silver grass slowly wrapped around Tianxing's fingers. Don't worry, I will handle this matter cleanly and will not implicate my son. But before that, I have to go to Tianxing City to let Awakens sect prepare early. I feel so ashamed of you and Awakens sect, take care of yourself. I will come back to tell you as soon as I solve this matter. Whoosh! With a strong sound of breaking through the air, Tianxing left. However, he was always uneasy in the air, always feeling that something bad was about to happen. Will it be dangerous for me to go to Tianxing City this time? Not long after Tianxing left, a man appeared at the entrance of the canyon, followed the smell of blood in the air, found a strange blue-silver grass, and slowly retreated. After a while, surrounded by many people and horses, the flag of the Ming Dynasty royal family slowly appeared. Is this the blue-silver emperor? It's really good. Chapter 86 Return to Tianxing City. Zhu Nian'an looked up and frowned at the unique valley in front of him. This place is indeed remote enough. The location of the blue-silver empire is also unusually conspicuous. It is in the corner of this secret valley. This corner is barren. I don't know if the nutrients in this area have been eaten by the blue-silver emperor, or what. In front of a huge, unique blue-silver grass, it is barren, and all plants are eclipsed in front of this unique blue-silver grass. On the huge luxury carriage, Zhu Nian'an walked down slowly. The moment he stepped down from the huge luxury carriage, the maid held an umbrella for him. She was afraid that the hot sun would burn Zhu Nian'an's noble body. After taking a look at the environment around the valley, Zhu Nian'an was amazed. I don't know, should I praise Tianxing for protecting his wife's safety? Well, I should still praise him. He is worthy of being the blue-silver emperor. Under such harsh circumstances, the blue-silver emperor can still survive. After hearing Zhu Nian'an's words, Xiaoyao beside him paused slightly, and her eyes began to flicker wildly. Following Zhu Nian'an's steps, Xiaoyao soon saw the so-called blue-silver emperor mentioned by Zhu Nian'an. Before, Xiaoyao and blue-silver emperor might not know each other. But they are both powerful beings of the 100,000-year soul beast level in the Stardew Great Forest. Besides, blue-silver emperor is very special, Xiaoyao cannot be unaware of it. Even before Xiaoyao transformed, she might have been more or less influenced by blue-silver emperor. After a long time, when the two met again, for the first time, the scene in front of her instantly shocked Xiaoyao deeply. How could the blue-silver emperor, who was originally high above and surrounded by countless plant soul beasts and had a very high status in the plant system, become like this now? Growing in an unknown valley, even if you are in the valley, the growth center is still barren, and all the plants in the place are withered. For the identity of an empire in the plant system, this is simply an insult and torture. The scene in front of her really touched Xiaoyao hard. As if sensing Xiaoyao's strange emotions, Zhu Nian'an smiled. His mind was spinning wildly. How can he maximize his own interests? Let a 100,000-year-old transformed soul beast see the tragic end of another 100,000-year-old transformed soul beast. How can he maximize his own interests? I don't know why you soul beasts want to transform. But, no matter what, after the transformation, if your identity is exposed, there are only two outcomes. Either, you will be hunted down by soul masters all over the continent, or, you will be deceived by your loved ones, and in the end, your soul rings and soul bones will become someone else, and you will even have to thank the other party. The blue-silver Emperor in front of you is a good example. Nian'an did not say how the blue-silver Emperor died. In fact, there are many strange things about the death of blue-silver Emperor Nian'an only said that the blue-silver Emperor had a child with a human, and her man was the one who attacked her last time. In addition, the blue-silver Emperor's child and her daughter Xiao went to the same school. After hearing what Nian'an said, Xiao became anxious instantly. This matter did not involve herself, Xiao could just listen to it as a story. But this matter involved her daughter Xiao. The human strongman, the titled Douluo, who had a 100,000-year soul ring, faced. No wonder, she was chased by the titled strongman as soon as she left Noting City. In Xiao's eyes, Tianxing was not seeking revenge for her son. He came to assassinate Nian'an. It was obvious that he had sensed her identity as a soul beast and wanted to kill her. In particular, the look in Tianxing's eyes when he was fighting Nian'an. There was no shock in his eyes, but full of murderous intent. The target was very obvious, and he was a repeat offender at first glance. It was Nian'an. If it weren't for Nian'an, she and even her daughter might have fallen into the hands of that human strongman. Plop. Xiao knelt down in front of Nian'an without any hesitation. My lord, please save Xiao. As long as you are willing to save Xiao, I am willing to do anything. Xiao knew what Nian'an meant by telling her these things. She had no other way to go now. She could only rely on the man in front of her, who was powerful, had a mysterious background, and Xiao had seen it with her own eyes. When the three titled Douluo surrounded her and hunted her, and were about to succeed, Nian'an stood up. He simply showed that he wanted it, and if he didn't give it to him, he would wait. The three titled Douluo offered the Aries that was about to enter with both hands. At the time, she had no power to resist. Xiao knew how attractive a 100,000-year soul ring and 100,000-year soul bone that was within reach could be to a soul master. But they did it. Then, even if her identity was exposed, Nian'an could perfectly protect herself. After knowing that Nian'an's identity was mysterious and even the titled Douluo had to retreat, Xiao accepted her fate. Now she just wanted her daughter, Xiao, to survive. Nian'an leaned over and looked down at Xiao's tearful appearance, and slowly stretched out his hand. Wiped away the hot tears. Don't worry. From now on, I am Xiao's godfather. Blue-silver Emperor Yin was very resistant to the arrival of Nian'an and Xiao, the two uninvited guests. She tried her best to hide her extraordinariness. She was afraid that she would be discovered by a naughty kid like Nian'an, and her legs would be broken with a stick like the red flowers on the roadside. Unfortunately, Yin's plan failed. Because this time Nian'an's target was the other party. Yin's desperate concealment did not win Nian'an's disregard. Instead, Nian'an had her roots uprooted and the soil dug away. At the entrance of the valley, Nian'an looked back, then turned to look at the blue-silver Emperor in his hand. He struggled forward with an expressionless face. Ignite. As the order to ignite was issued, the next moment, the raging fire directly engulfed the entire valley. Nian'an ordered people to set a big fire, burning all traces of Nian'an and his people coming here, as well as the existence of the blue-silver Emperor. 3 days later, a luxurious carriage with a sun and moon flag slowly drove into Tianzhou city of the Tianzhou Empire. On the other side, Tianxing now had used special channels to find the only contact point of the Xiaoyao sect outside. Yuexuan, the Tianzhou Empire Palace Etiquette Academy. When Yuexuan heard that an old friend came to see him, holding a token of secret contact with the Xiaoyao sect, she was puzzled. It's not time yet. When she saw this so-called old friend with the token, tears flowed down her face. She didn't see it wrong. Under the tattered robe, the vicissitudes of the old man is, who? Is it the second brother who was full of vigor and fighting spirit in her eyes when she was a child, and only wanted to compete for the first place in the continent? Thinking of this, she couldn't hold it anymore, her eyes turned red, and tears fell one by one. Second brother. Chapter 87 Tang Yui's collapse. Then, the legendary Yuan master Tang Yuihua, a woman full of nobleness, and the woman that countless men in Tiando City thought about day and night, fell into the arms of the old man in a brown robe and messy hair in front of her. Countless students of Yuan widened their eyes instantly. What did they see? On weekdays, the teacher and dean who paid great attention to etiquette, today, in front of so many people, couldn't control his emotions, lost his composure. Yuihua, it's me. Tang Yao's voice rang faintly. Calm, serious, and full of seriousness in his eyes. Looking at Tang Yao's serious look, Tang Yuihua knew that Tang Yao came to find her for something serious. It is very likely because of the Awakens sect behind him. Wiping the tears from the corners of her eyes, suppressing the excitement in her heart, she spoke with trembling lips. Follow me, follow me. The simple 3 words were said twice, and it can be imagined how excited the other party was. In an independent hall, Tang Yuihua dismissed everyone, and looking at the empty hall, she finally couldn't hold back and began to sob softly. You, what are you doing? Before Tang Yao finished speaking, Tang Yuihua reached out and touched Tang Yao's face. Feeling this face that was young and vigorous in the past, but now so haggard, Tang Yuihua's heart was broken. Second brother, how could you become so haggard? Tang Yao was the first to look away. Is big brother okay? After hearing Tang Yao's words, Tang Yuihua's face was sad. The last time I went home, I accidentally saw that big brother was looking at the photos of the 3 of us when we were young, and he looked at them for a whole morning. This time, you must go back with me. After hearing Tang Yuihua's words, Tang Yao's face was painful. Go back? Is that still his home? He had long been expelled from the Awakens sect. In the Awakens sect, except for his big brother and little sister, everyone wants to kill him. After being reborn, Tang Yao also inquired about the Awakens sect and knew the current situation of the Awakens sect. I came here today, because, some time ago, your nephew Tang-san was bullied, so I went to his house and accidentally offended someone. This person's identity and background are very powerful, and may endanger the Awakens sect, so I came today. I want to let the Awakens sect prepare. Swish. Tang Yuihua stood up from the chair in an instant. Who is it? Is it the spirit hall again? Don't they want to let you go now? Is Tang-san okay? Faced with a series of inquiries, Tang Yao slowly shook his head. Xiao-san is fine, and it's not the spirit hall. After hearing that it was not the spirit hall, Tang Yuihua breathed a sigh of relief. Then she immediately raised her heart. If it was not the spirit hall, it would not be the crown prince of the Tiando Empire or a prince, right? You know, the current Awakens sect is not doing well. In the territory of another country, retrieve carefully. If this is exposed, there will be trouble again. Not the 2 empires. Hearing that it was not the Tiando Empire from Tang Yao's mouth, Tang Yuihua felt at ease. As long as it was not the spirit hall, not the 2 empires, then all the things Tang Yao had done could be alleviated and resolved. Although the Awakens sect had to retreat under the pressure of the spirit hall, the strength it showed was not something that anyone could ignore. Looking at Tang Yuihua, who had calmed down, Tang Yao did not let go of his solemn expression at all. Although it is not the spirit hall, nor the 2 old empires, but he is from one of the new empires, the Ming Empire. Swish. Tang Yuihua's face turned pale in an instant. Ming Empire. Having avoided the spirit hall and the 2 empires, Tang Yuihua never thought that Tang Yao would choose a force that was even more powerful than these 3. Ming Empire. The Ming Empire is famous for protecting its own people. Not only that, its military strength and national strength have reached their peak in the past few years. The Soul Master industry is also developing rapidly. The 2 empires were defeated by him. It is recorded that the spirit hall had to retreat in the face of the giant Ming. Tang Yuihua never expected it. After provoking the spirit hall, which led to the death of countless young people in the Awakens sect and forced him to retire from the sect, Tang Yao provoked such a powerful enemy for the Awakens sect. Stupid, you're stupid, second brother. Do you know what happened to the Ming Empire? Forget it, you should tell me what happened and see if there is any possibility of saving it. Seeing that Tang Yuihua was about to cry, Tang Yao was a little panicked. Although Tang Yao had heard some news about the Ming Empire. For example, the Ming Empire repelled the joint attack of the 2 empires. And, the 2 empires signed a defeat treaty and owed billions of gold soul coins. Even the Spirit Hall, a powerful force that is highly respected by civilian soul masters, has suffered losses at the hands of the Ming. But looking at his younger sister, who was so nervous and scared. Is there something he doesn't know about the Ming Empire? Helpless, he could only tell everything clearly. Second brother, you are. Tang Yuiho looked at Tang Dao, her fingers trembling constantly. For a long time, she finally didn't say a complete sentence. In fact, this matter can't be completely blamed on Tang Dao. It can only be said that the Ming Empire has completely given face to Tang Dao and the Awakens sect. But Tang Dao didn't know at the time that the Ming Empire didn't give face to the Ming Empire at all. He wanted to kill him directly when he went up. Tang Yuiho has begun to have a mental breakdown. Sunday and Moon Flag. With them in national flag, luxurious carriage, young people, dignitaries, geniuses, called by his second brother, the strongest soul saint he has ever seen, with outrageous soul ring confederation, and several 100,000-year soul rings. No matter how you look at it, there are still Super Douluo and even Super Douluo titled Douluo as protectors to protect him. The identity and status of the person beaten by his second brother are not ordinary. One day later, the royal family of the Ming Empire issued a hunting order to everyone on the continent. Hunting order. Name: Tang Dao. Identity: the first-generation disciple of Awakens sect. Crime: attacking the main convoy of the contemporary Soul Spirit Tower, causing casualties among many Ming envoys. Reward amount: 99,990,000 gold soul coins. Not only that, there was also a vague news that the Ming Empire was going to avoid the Awakens sect. At the same time, Nian'an, who came to Tiando Empire, suddenly became the envoy group visiting Tiando. On the second day after arriving in Tiando City, he attacked the royal family of Tiando Empire. Why was the Ming envoy group assassinated in Fazno province? Why did Tang Dao assassinate the Ming envoy? Tiando Empire, why did you shield the murderer and shield the Awakens sect? When these three charges were brought to the stage and the Tiando Empire was notified that it must give a reasonable explanation within 3 days, the court exploded. Countless cities and countless people in the Tiando Empire were in panic. Involuntarily, she recalled the scene of the Ming dynasty's sudden attack on Tiando, which caused Tiando to collapse like a chicken underdog. On the other side, in Yuexuan, she waited for only 1 day. When Tang Yuiho heard that the Ming Empire had issued a hunting order, and there were rumors that the Ming Empire had declared war on the entire Awakens sect, Tang Yuiho collapsed. The Awakens sect, which was already in a bad situation, was now in a worse situation. Chapter 88 Qian Ringxiu's Little Thoughts. Tiando City, Ming Office. This is equivalent to the residence of the Tiando envoy in Minqing, Ming Empire. Simply put, it is an envoy's residence established to show good relations. Usually, there will be one in the capital of every country, which is considered a kind of diplomatic establishment. However, the diplomat's residence, which has always been heavily guarded, is now full of people. In particular, the Ming embassy stationed in the Tiando Empire. It can be said that it is packed. However, the Ming army stationed here blocked everyone who wanted to enter the embassy outside. This little brother, I heard that your Ming envoy had arrived in Tiando City yesterday. Please go and report it. I am the diplomatic envoy of the Tiando Empire. I am fully investigating the assassination of the Ming diplomatic envoy. Now we need clearer information and know what happened. Facing the words of the Tiando diplomatic envoy, the Ming Emperor's soldiers did not blink and had no expression on their faces. Anyway, this matter was not his mission. The order he received was to refuse all those who asked to meet with the envoy. Asshole, do you know that you are misleading the national situation now? This will cause international disputes and lead to diplomatic incidents between the Ming Empire and the Tiando Empire. Do you know how important this matter is? If an accident occurs between the two countries, can you afford it? Seeing that the Ming soldiers were unmoved and dragged on for a whole day, the Tiando envoy could not sit still. Sorry, you are not of high enough rank to see our envoy. Faced with the threat, the Ming soldiers looked indifferent. You can watch, quarrel, and make a fuss. Anyway, as long as you don't force your way into the Ming embassy stationed in the Tiando Empire, it is none of your business. A light sentence came out, and the Tiando envoy was so angry when he heard it. After spending half a day here, you tell me that you can't see the Ming envoy because of your status and rank? In the end, the matter was reported to the higher levels, and Emperor Zhuyi was helpless. As a last resort, he could only use Zhu Qinghe, the crown prince of the Tiando Empire who had just come out of seclusion, to resolve this diplomatic incident. Report. The Tiando Empire Palace Etiquette Academy, Master Yuexuan requests an audience. Upon hearing the order from the guards, Emperor Zhuyi's eyes flashed with helplessness. You know, the Awakens sect is in the territory of the Tiando Empire. Does the Tianzhou Empire royal family really not know about it? Of course not. For the Xiaoyao sect provoking the Ming Empire this time, the Tianzhou Empire can only say that it can't help. Even if this will make the Xiaoyao sect turn to the Xingluo Empire again, they have no way to do anything. Soon, the group came to the Ming embassy stationed in Tianzhou City. When the Tianzhou Empire royal family's carriage arrived, all the officials of the Tianzhou Empire couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief at the same time. You know, the emergence of the Ming Empire was because Emperor Zhu did not give an explanation to the Ming Empire in time, which led to a series of events later. If today's plot happens again, the Tianzhou Empire can't bear it. Sorry, the embassy is now closed and no one is allowed to enter or leave. When the Tianzhou Imperial carriage arrived, it was blocked by the Ming army stationed in the embassy without any surprise. Facing the blockage, a handsome young man wearing a white and gold long dress and short golden hair slowly got off the luxurious carriage. The young man was not very old, and from head to toe, even in the depths of his eyes, he couldn't help but reveal two words. Noble. Wala. The moment the young man appeared, the crowd around him instantly knelt down. Greetings to His Royal Highness the Crown Prince. And he was the Crown Prince of the Tianzhou Empire, Zhu Qinghe, the most respected son of Emperor Zhu. Why is His Royal Highness the Crown Prince here? Shouldn't he be in seclusion? I heard that His Royal Highness the Crown Prince has now officially received an invitation from the Ming Empire's Soul Master Hall, Mingde Hall. As long as he completes this assignment, he can be listed in the Soul Master Hall. I didn't expect that he would return to the Tianzhou Empire at such a critical moment and come out of seclusion to resolve this diplomatic incident. Listening to the discussions of the people around him, a dignified, elegant, noble and graceful beauty with long light blue hair and a golden dress slowly walked out of the carriage. Your Royal Highness the Crown Prince, this. The woman's beautiful eyebrows frowned slightly, which made many men feel troubled. Aunt Yui, don't worry, I will solve it. Zhu Qinghe's gentle voice slowly rang out. A slightly rough and simple storage ring with a sun and moon logo on his right hand flashed, and Zhu Qinghe had a token in his hand. There was a huge scorching sun engraved on the token, and below the scorching sun was a huge Ming character. Wala. In an instant, the Ming army stationed in the Ming embassy knelt on one knee. The leader walked out and saluted respectfully. Sir, do you have any instructions? Soldiers who can be stationed in the Imperial Embassy are certainly not simple, at least they're second-generation top soldiers, but even so, such a token has only been seen in their recruit manuals. Although it is not the most mysterious and powerful token in the Ming Empire, it is enough to make an embassy of a country withdraw its troops. I want to see your envoy. After hearing Zhu Qinghe's words, the leading soldier commander raised his hand without hesitation and shouted. Let him go. Seeing that the crisis was resolved, Tang Yuiho breathed a sigh of relief. She came here today to resolve the grievances between the Ming Empire and her second brother Tianxing and the Xiaoyao sect. If she can't even see the people, then, how can she resolve this misunderstanding? Yes, this is a misunderstanding, at least in Tang Yuiho's eyes. The Ming embassy, in a luxurious hall. Time passed by bit. In the blink of an eye, it was already night. Zhu Qinghe and Tang Yuiho had been here for 2 hours, 4 hours. But they hadn't even seen the Ming envoy. Zhu Qinghe went from being calm and composed at the beginning to frowning at the end. Tang Yuiho was already sweating profusely. You know, time is very precious now. Maybe the Ming Empire will send troops on the other side. Why hasn't he come out yet? Has your envoy not woken up yet? Finally, Tang Yuiho couldn't sit still anymore. She asked the guards beside her. I'm really sorry, our envoy was exhausted from the journey and went to bed early. If you don't want to wait, please come back tomorrow. In fact, from the very beginning to now, Nian'an had never thought about meeting them. On the other hand, Zhu Qinghe's emotions were also very complicated. He wanted to solve this matter and gain Zhu Yi's trust. But he didn't want to solve this matter. He hoped that the grievances between the Ming Empire and the Xiaoyao sect would deepen. It would be best if they fought. After all, although Zhu Qinghe is now the crown prince of the Tianzhou Empire in everyone's eyes, she has been secretly replaced by Qianxing Xiu of the Spirit Hall. In Qianxing Xiu's impression and rumors, her father, the former pope of the Spirit Hall, died at the hands of the Xiaoyao sect. P.S. Qianxing Xiu does not know the truth about the death of her father, Qianzhangji. Bai Dong did not tell her, and Qiandale did not say it in order to cover up the scandal of the Spirit Hall. In the records of the Spirit Hall, the death of the former pope was related to the Xiaoyao sect. Chapter 89 Send out 100,000 troops to surround the Xiaoyao sect. Chapter 89 Send out 100,000 troops to surround the Xiaoyao sect. Nian'an couldn't possibly not have a little resentment towards the Xiaoyao sect. Therefore, she hoped that the Ming Empire and the Xiaoyao sect would fight. It would be best to use the Ming Empire to destroy the Xiaoyao sect. Your Highness, I think this misunderstanding should be ended as soon as possible to avoid unnecessary disputes. Tang Yui wanted to meet the Tianzhou envoy, but she knew that it was impossible to meet the envoy of the Tianzhou Empire with her identity. Helplessly, she could only ask Zhu Qinghe again. I'm sorry, Aunt Yui, even if I want to meet the Ming envoy, it depends on whether the other party has time. Zhu Qinghe's face was full of apologies. But his heart began to beat. He knew that Tang Yui and his father had some unclear relationship. Otherwise, it would be impossible to hand over Xiaoyao, the academy in charge of the court etiquette of the Tianzhou Empire, to the other party. But the other party's attitude towards this matter is more concerned than himself. Isn't it a little abnormal? After hearing Zhu Qinghe's words, Tang Yui sighed and frowned deeply. In a corner that the two did not notice, a man in the uniform of the Ming Empire slowly retreated. He came to a luxurious residence behind the hall. They haven't left yet? The moment the other party entered the room, Nian'an's voice rang out. What travel fatigue, what sleep, are just excuses. It's just that Nian'an simply doesn't want to see the other party. This matter can't end like this. Of course, in fact, Nian'an is also waiting for Xiaoyao and Xiangzhu, Tang Yui to leave. Because, if Nian'an guessed correctly, this Tang Yui seemed to be the sister of Tang Xiaoyao and Tang Xiao. If I want to find the Xiaoyao sect, it must be right to find a breakthrough from him. In fact, it doesn't take Nian'an a long time to find the Xiaoyao sect. But Nian'an wants it now, immediately, right away. Tang Xiaoyao is jumping around outside for a day, and he will be uncomfortable for a day. In fact, Nian'an also has many ways to make Tang Xiaoyao appear. Yin, Tang San, any one of them is fine, there is no need to choose a Xiaoyao sect. Nian'an or the Ming Empire, what they want is just a face. Today, if anyone who attacks the Ming convoy and the Ming envoys can be safe and sound, what will the Ming Empire become? Today, a good example appeared. The youngest titled Douluo in the world. The strongest sect in the world. One of the top 3 sects, so what? My lord, they didn't leave. It seems that they are determined to see you. Hearing this, Nian'an smiled. Just now he wanted to say that if they want to wait, let them wait. But thinking carefully, isn't this a waste of time? Okay, arrange it and meet. Hearing this, the guards withdrew. In the hall, the two who waited left and right finally waited for Nian'an to summon them. In fact, Zhu Qinghe, oh no, it should be Nian'an, didn't want to wait here at all. But there was no other way. Tang Yui had been waiting here all the time. She was embarrassed to leave first. After all, her ostensible identity was Zhu Qinghe, the crown prince of the Tianzhou Empire. Tang Yui, an outsider, was so concerned about the affairs of the Tianzhou Empire. If she, the crown prince of the Tianzhou Empire, left first, how would others view her? Fortunately, this time, they didn't have to wait too long. A man in military uniform slowly walked into the hall. Sergeant Chen Qian greets the two adults. Our envoy is awakened, and you can go see him now. Swish. Hearing this news, Tang Yui raised her head without hesitation. Tap tap tap. In a luxurious hall residence. A veil separated the front hall, and there was a huge dining table in the back hall, which was filled with all kinds of delicacies. The aroma of the delicacies passed through the veil into the front hall, causing the two people who had been waiting for half a day and 6 or 7 hours without eating or drinking to tremble. I'm the person you were looking for. Tell me what you want to say. A faint male voice rang out, without any emotion, and there was no intention to see them. Behind that gauze curtain, a beautiful maid rubbed Nian'an's shoulders and legs, and picked up food. In front of the gauze curtain, Zhu Qinghe and Tang Yui could only watch. For the Ming envoy who died in the battle, I, Zhu Qinghe, express my condolences on behalf of the Tianzhou Empire. Don't worry, this matter will be investigated to the end by the Tianzhou Empire, and will never be tolerated. Hearing this, Tang Yui clenched her fists. What is going on? Shouldn't it be to solve the problem? Why is Zhu Qinghe adding fuel to the fire? In fact, from Zhu Qinghe's point of view, there is really no problem with her doing this. Since there is a problem, this problem is not easy to solve, the Ming Empire, so just solve the person who caused the problem. But Tang Yui was not here to solve the person who caused the problem. Investigate? Hehe, we have already investigated this matter very clearly. We don't expect your Tianxing Empire to help us. We just hope that you will not protect Xiaoyao and Awakens sect. After hearing the words of the Tianxing envoy, Tang Yui's heart was moved. Xiaoyao, Awakens sect, directly naming names, it seems that the Ming Empire is clearly going to move against Xiaoyao and Awakens sect. Isn't it possible? A continent-wide hunting order was directly issued, and the reward amount was as high as 99.99 million, nearly 100 million gold soul coins. Mr. Envoy, is there any misunderstanding? Look, we're here to solve the problem, not to create trouble. Why don't we find a time to have a good chat and talk? Harmony brings wealth. As far as I know, the Awakens sect announced its retirement 5 or 6 years ago. How could they provoke the Ming Empire? The Awakens sect was in a crisis. Seeing that the Ming Empire was so determined, Tang Yui had no choice but to bite the bullet and speak, trying to excuse the Awakens sect. I don't care whether the Awakens sect retired or not. I just know that people died in my Ming Empire. 3 families and dozens of people may need a lifetime to heal for this. And the murder of Xiaoyao is still at large. This is the dereliction of duty of my Ming Empire. If my huge Ming Empire can't even protect its people, how can we have the face to stand on the mainland? The voice that originally did not hear any emotion gradually became angry. Nian'an had only one meaning. The monk may run away, but the temple cannot. Hand over Xiaoyao, otherwise the Awakens sect will be in trouble. Half an hour later, Tang Yui left and hurriedly led people out of Tianxing City. What she didn't know was that the moment she left, dozens of black-robed people followed her. I always feel that your voice is very familiar. Have we met somewhere before? Watching Tang Yui leave, Zhu Qinghe finally couldn't resist the doubts in his heart and asked. If His Royal Highness wants to meet, you can come in. Zhu Qinghe's face was frosty. She finally knew why she had a familiar feeling. No need. She raised her foot and was about to leave this place that made her feel sick. The second before she was about to leave the hall, her footsteps paused slightly. The Awakens sect is in Xiaoyao Mountain. Before she left, Nian'an's voice rang again. Do you hate the Awakens sect? Zhu Qinghe did not respond to Nian'an's question and left directly. The next morning, dozens of black-robed people returned, and Nian'an got the current location of the Awakens sect. The next day, the Ming Empire sent out 100,000 troops to surround the entire Awakens sect. As soon as the news came out, the entire Soul Master world exploded instantly. People from the upper 3 sects, the lower 4 sects, many academies, and even the former affiliated sects of the Awakens sect came one after another. They were ready to watch this century-long battle between the sect and the empire. Chapter 90. Awakens sect is in a panic. At this time, the Awakens sect was already in an uproar. Originally, at the beginning, Tang Xiao, the leader of the Awakens sect, was Tang Yao's brother. He heard about this from his younger sister Tang Yui. He was worried about his younger brother, and Tang Yao's reputation in the sect was not very good. He wanted to suppress it directly because Tang Yao offended the Ming Empire, and the Ming Empire was preparing to send troops to the Awakens sect. See if there is any chance to reconcile with the Ming Empire in private. However, before he could take any action, countless sun and moon flags of the Ming Empire appeared on Xiaoyao Mountain, and 100,000 snow dragon riders surrounded the Awakens sect, which completely exposed the matter. This immediately changed the nature of the matter. In order to give Tang Yao a chance to win to the Awakens sect again in the future, Tang Xiao concealed the things he had caused outside and wanted to solve it privately. There was nothing wrong with this matter. It is normal for the eldest brother to consider his younger brother as a father. But the abnormal thing is that before Tang Xiao could do anything about this matter, the Ming army had already come to the door. The elders who were kept in the dark were dumbfounded when they learned that the Ming Empire had officially declared war on the Awakens sect and that 100,000 elite soldiers had surrounded the Awakens sect. Said Master. Now Xiaoyao Mountain is full of sun and moon flags. Swish. At the seat of the Awakens sect Master, a middle-aged man with a full beard and a haggard face suddenly raised his head. Beside him, Tang Yui also instantly widened her beautiful eyes. This. Before she could say anything else, a series of hurried footsteps suddenly came from outside the door. Tap tap tap. Elder. Hello, Elder. Not long after, the 5 leading people slowly walked over. The leader of the 5 people was an old man, followed by 4 slightly younger ones. And these 5 people also represent the highest power in the Awakens sect besides the sect master. Awakens sect, the 5 elders of the Law Enforcement Hall. The 5 people looked serious. As soon as they entered the main hall of Xiaoyao Sect, their eyes were locked on Tang Xiao and Tang Yui, who had just returned to Xiaoyao Sect last night. Yui, when did you come back? After hearing the words of the skinny old man in the lead, Tang Yui did not dare to be arrogant and stood up directly from the main seat. Second elder, I came back overnight last night. After hearing Tang Yui's words, the atmosphere instantly became wrong, and the two sides were on the verge of a fight. One of the elders stepped forward and was about to say something, but was stopped by the second elder. Did those people at the foot of the mountain come because of you? Xiaoyao Sect has been in seclusion for 6 years, and this is the first time that the sect has been surrounded. In addition, there are so many soldiers and soul masters, the address of their Xiaoyao Sect's retreat has been directly exposed. After hearing the words of the second elder, Tang Yui did not admit or defend herself, but just lowered her head silently. Are you hiding something from us? Seeing the two siblings like this, the elders secretly said something was not right. Are those people really here because of you? They surrounded our Xiaoyao Sect. Are they preparing to go to war with us? You, what on earth did you do outside? Seeing the elder's aggressive look, Tang Xiao couldn't sit still. This matter could not be hidden after all. The elders now only knew that the Xiaoyao Sect was surrounded, but they didn't know why it was surrounded. It's not that the paper can't cover the fire, but I was slow and didn't solve it well. It didn't solve it well, but I couldn't let my little sister take the blame for this matter, not to mention that this matter couldn't be concealed for long. That's enough, elders, it's not you. After saying that, Tang Xiao turned around silently and turned his back to everyone. Without waiting for the elders to ask, Tang Xiao began to explain on his own. A few days ago, Brother Xiao was away and accidentally provoked the Ming Empire, causing it to send troops to the Xiaoyao Sect. After saying that, Tang Xiao closed his eyes and sighed deeply. Swish. Bang. What? It's the trouble caused by that evil creature Tang Xiao again. Asshole, he has already harmed the Xiaoyao Sect to this extent, what else does he want? Does he have to let the Xiaoyao Sect be destroyed in his hands? Damn it, wasn't Tang Xiao expelled from the Xiaoyao Sect 6 years ago? Why should the things he caused be blamed on my Xiaoyao Sect? Of course it's because of the Xiaoyao Hammer. On this continent, the only one who possesses the Xiaoyao Hammer martial spirit is Tang Xiao Sect, besides my Xiaoyao Sect. If it were you, I should have abolished his soul power, deprived the sect of the inherited soul bone, and abolished his martial spirit, so as to avoid things like today from happening, and let him use the name of the Xiaoyao Sect to cause trouble on the continent all day long. Listening to the scolding and abuse coming from his ears, Tang Xiao slowly clenched his fists. A sense of powerlessness surged in his heart. Although he was the leader of a sect, he was still a little powerless in front of the 5 law enforcement elders of the Xiaoyao Sect. He wanted to speak for his brother, but he couldn't stand. He didn't have the face to do so. Because of what Tang Xiao did to Tianxing, the Xiaoyao Sect suffered heavy losses. Now the disciples of the Xiaoyao Sect more or less resented Tang Xiao. This also led to the fact that even though he was the sect master, his prestige was still not as good as the 5 law enforcement elders of the Xiaoyao Sect. How is the military strength of the Ming Empire? The 5 elders complained and cursed for a long time, and were finally involved in this topic. Empire, just the word empire means that the number of troops will not be less than 1 million. They can raise a 1 million strong army at any time. The Ming Empire is the first and strongest military power on the current continent. It once faced 2 major empires, the Xingluo Empire and the Tianzhou Empire, and won. Even the Wuhan Hall has to bow down. After learning about the strength of the Ming Empire from Tang Yui, the 5 elders' scalps tingled. Maybe they didn't know how strong the 2 empires were, but they definitely knew the Wuhan Hall. 10 years ago, the Xiaoyao Sect put its hands in its pockets. It was the #1 sect in the world and didn't know what an opponent was. 4 years later, the Xiaoyao Sect was beaten by the Spirit Hall and retreated to the mountains. How powerful was the Ming Empire that could suppress the Spirit Hall and the 2 empires? No, the things that Tang Xiao caused outside are his own business, and they can never be blamed on my Xiaoyao Sect. The 5 elders voted to decide. The Xiaoyao envoys were formed to go down the mountain. At noon, Nian'an was stunned when he learned that the Xiaoyao envoys were going down the mountain to see him. After the meeting, the Xiaoyao Sect's envoys told Nian'an that the Ming dynasty could not settle accounts with them on the grounds that Tang Xiao had been expelled from the Xiaoyao Sect and removed from the Xiaoyao Sect. Hehe, you're really interesting. I don't know whether Tang Xiao was expelled or removed from the Xiaoyao Sect by you, and it doesn't matter. I only know that your current Xiaoyao Sect leader and Tang Xiao are brothers, with the same blood, and Tang Xiao also came from your Xiaoyao Sect. I can't find Xiaoyao, and the Awakens sect can't escape. Chapter 91 Our Awakens sect will clean up the mess ourselves. Chapter 91 Our Awakens sect will clean up the mess. What's the logic? You can't find us, so you keep holding us. Stunned. The 5 elders were dumbfounded. What kind of robbery logic is this? So, you have to mess with our Awakens sect? An elder with a hot temper immediately stood up, and a powerful momentum burst out from his body instantly. A strong wave of air instantly burst out from his body and rushed straight to Nian'an behind that tent. Hula! The strong wind blew up the gauze curtain, revealing a young face and a beautiful maid behind that gauze curtain. In an instant, the pupils of the 5 elders of the Awakens sect shrank fiercely. They were not surprised by Nian'an, the young identity of the Ming Dynasty envoy. But they were shocked by the identity of the beautiful maid. This is 100,000-year soul beast incarnation. Some of the 5 elders flashed with shock in their eyes, and some flashed with greed after shock. 100,000-year soul beast, the treasure of the continent, 100,000-year soul ring, 100,000-year soul bone, which one is not the dream of soul masters? Trample, trample, trample. Crash, crash, crash. Unfortunately, the next moment, densely packed people surrounded them in circles, instantly shattering their dreams. 10,000 well-trained troops marching in formation on white horses, holding long spears, directly destroyed their dreams. Line up. Crash. Sharp spears were placed on the horses' heads, ready to charge. Yellow, purple, black, 5 soul rings of the same color suddenly rose. Swish. The fight has begun, the fight has begun, everyone, look. The spies arranged by various forces in Xiaoyao Mountain instantly took action like a cat smelling blood. In the Tianxing Empire, the Holy Sect, which is also one of the top 3 sects and has always supported the Tianxing royal family, is undoubtedly the most informed. Seeing that one of the armies of the Ming Empire that surrounded the Awakens sect had taken action, Nian'an knew the result in the next moment. When the yellow, purple and black soul rings rose up all over the sky, Nian'an and the sword Douluo he brought with him this time could not sit still. 5 rings. An army of 10,000 soul kings, how much resources did the Ming Empire spend to train them? It's only been a short time, how long has it been? The Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, the 4 lower sects that joined in the fun this time, the 4 clans that were previously affiliated with the Awakens sect, and even the people of the Wuhan Hall hidden among the civilian soul masters were all shocked. In 4 or 5 years, the great snow dragon riders spent countless money in the Ming Empire, buying soul-nourishing medicinal materials all over the continent, various natural materials and treasures, and even secretly assisted by the Holy Spirit Church, and only then did they achieve the Soul King. In fact, they just broke through the Soul King not long ago. This can also be explained. After all, in the past 20 years, the body has accumulated so much soul power, and after awakening, basically everyone has innate full soul power. Absorbing soul rings of more than 500 years is easy, the second soul ring is 900, the third soul ring is 5,000, the fourth soul ring is 9,000, all kinds of natural treasures are used to assist. According to scientific and unified training, it is not difficult for these young and strong guys to reach level 10 soul power in 1 year. After all, according to their physical condition, they are at their peak. Perhaps in a few years, their cultivation will gradually become slow and weak as their bodies enter middle age, but they are definitely soul kings now, and they are the best among soul kings. Damn, that guy's empire has become stronger again. In the Tianxing Empire camp, Zhu King had clenched his fists tightly. In the late Xingluo Empire team, the envoy widened his eyes and sweated profusely. Is this the Ming Empire? It is worthy of it. It represents the absolute combat power in the empire. Can these 10,000 be against my Xingluo million-strong army? Tap tap tap, the elder of the Awakens sect who released pressure on Nian'an retreated madly with weak steps. He, in the military camp. Nian'an stood up slowly with a smile on his face. When he reappeared in front of the 5 elders, he was suddenly blocked by a ray of light, and his facial features could not be seen clearly, and his age was unknown. The Awakens sect, which was once the #1 sect, still has this courage at this point. To be honest, I'm very happy. But, I'm not happy about the way it challenged the majesty of the Ming Empire. So, swish. Instantly, the sound of breaking through the air resounded. Suddenly, a series of figures appeared in front of Nian'an. They were all wearing black robes, hiding their bodies in the black robes, and exuding a powerful aura. the woman in black gauze, who was in the lead, quietly opened her eyes, and the blood-red murderous intent in her eyes flashed. The next moment, black vines appeared everywhere. Puff. Puff. The earth cracked, and countless flowers, plants and trees around it lost all vitality in an instant. The elder who released the pressure on Nian'an, before he could react, his feet were entangled and sank into the ground. After trapping the elder of the Ocean Sect, the black vines showed no sign of stopping, and sharp barbs quickly grew on the vines. Before the other party's martial spirit was released, the elder of the Ocean Sect turned pale and lost all his fighting power. It's only level 91, how can you be so presumptuous? After saying that, the woman in black gauze slowly turned around and knelt on one knee in front of Nian'an. Wait for the adults to decide. Hearing this, Nian'an didn't even blink, raised his hand, and a golden long sword condensed in his hand. Golden Dragon Slash. Instantly, a sword energy flew out of his hand. Seeing that Nian'an didn't hesitate at all, he directly finished the knife. Suddenly, the other four elders of the Ocean Sect couldn't sit still. Don't kill the envoys in a battle, what do you want to do? Is the Ming Empire so unreasonable? What do you want to do? The elders who fell to the ground and were tied up by black vines stared at the sword energy coming towards them. No, don't. Seeing that the four elders were about to block the sword energy, the woman in black gauze turned around suddenly. Blab, 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 red, the terrifying 7 black and 2 red soul rings on her body flashed. Countless black vines immediately bound the four elders in place before they could block the attack. How dare you? The oppressive feeling from the Super Duo, the absolute top control system. The soul power suppression of the 95-level Super Duo made it impossible for the four elders to break free in an instant. They could only watch the sword energy slashing towards the elders of the Ocean Sect. Puff. I didn't say I was going to kill you. Whoosh. The next moment, a right arm flew out. The injury of the broken arm today is the punishment for your provocation to the Ming Dynasty today. Bang. The next moment, countless black vines shattered, and the four elders broke free. One of the elders, holding the black vines, stared at the woman in black gauze. Blue silver grass, relying on just blue silver grass to cultivate the Super Duo. What happened? At this moment, someone suddenly walked out of the crowd. It was Tang Yui. She covered her mouth with her hands and looked at the 5 elders in shock. Finally, she looked at Nian'an and others who were surrounded by the crowd. Plop. He knelt down without any hesitation. In the end, what will it take for you to let the Ocean Sect go? I don't care about others, but if you touch my men people, you must pay with your life. First, the entire Ocean Sect apologizes to the families of the envoys who died in my Ming Empire. After all, it was you who failed to discipline them well. Second, Xiaoyao must kneel in front of me, kowtow and apologize, and hand over his life. The Ocean Sect and the Ming Empire are clear. Otherwise, I will trample Ocean with my horses and slaughter the entire sect with my guns. Swish. The pupils of the 5 elders shrank fiercely. After looking at each other, the second elder, who was the leader of the 5 elders, stood up. My Ocean Sect will clean up the mess. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 92. The eldest brother is like a father. Swish. After hearing what the second elder of the Ocean Sect said, Tang Yui instantly raised her head. Her eyes widened, filled with disbelief. A Ocean Sect will clean up the sect by itself. What does this mean? Could it be, the 5 elders of the Law Enforcement Hall of the Ocean Sect have a privilege that even the sect master does not have? That is, after a joint vote, they can directly kill the disciples of the Ocean Sect who disrespect the elders of the Law Enforcement Hall. There are many of them. Xiaoyao, who has slandered the Ocean Sect and caused such a big trouble for the Ocean Sect, is obviously also among them. 3 days. I only give you 3 days. Nian'an turned around, raised his hand, and extended 3 index fingers of his right hand, giving the final deadline. A Ocean Sect. Not good, brother. After the negotiation, Tang Yui hurried back to the Ocean Sect and found her eldest brother, Tang Xiao, the sect master of the Ocean Sect. Swish. Tang Xiao stood up from his seated position. In fact, he was the one who paid the most attention to the negotiation of the envoys. On one side was the sect he had to protect, and here he had to take on the responsibility of being the sect master. On the other side was his younger brother, his own brother. After his father left, the elder brother was like a father, and he should take good care of him and protect him. However, the current situation was no longer under his control. So, he did not go to the meeting between the envoys of the Xiaoyao sect and the Ming Empire. He was afraid that he could not control himself and would attack the Ming envoys because of Tang Yao's matter. At the time, it would bring a catastrophe to the Xiaoyao sect. During the meeting with the envoys, he was extremely tormented and extremely regretful. If he had been tougher and had kept Tang Yao in the sect, perhaps what happened today would not have happened again. Tick-tock. Looking at Tang Xiao's solemn and worried eyes. Tang Yuihua's eyes were red, and the tears in her eyes were full, and 2 lines of tears fell. After voting, the 5 elders of the Law Enforcement Hall of the Xiaoyao sect decided to clean up the Xiaoyao sect by themselves and give an explanation to the Ming Empire. Snap snap snap. Tang Xiao clenched his fists tightly. Originally, he thought that the Ming Empire would put forward very harsh conditions, and even prepared to bleed the Xiaoyao sect. Unexpectedly, the Ming Empire had only one goal, and it was the one he could not accept the most. In fact, Tang Xiao had never thought about it. What can this poor Xiaoyao sect provide to the Ming Empire? Even if it is bleeding, it must be worthy at the Ming Empire. No. I don't agree. 6 years ago, the old sect master was angry to death, and the 5 elders expelled Tang Yao from the Xiaoyao sect. Tang Xiao was powerless. 6 years later, the 5 elders were ready to hand over Tang Yao due to external pressure, and Tang Xiao could not sit still. He couldn't watch his brother die outside a Xiaoyao sect meeting room. No, I don't agree. I, Tang Xiao, will never agree to this. Bang. One of the 5 elders slammed the table and stood up. Tang Xiao, you have to pay attention to your own identity and your own position. You are the leader of a Xiaoyao sect. The disaster that Tang Yao brought to a Xiaoyao sect 6 years ago is still vivid in our memory. Today, 6 years later, he has brought another catastrophe to a Xiaoyao sect. If such a person is not removed, then there will be no peace in a Xiaoyao sect. Since he became the leader of a Xiaoyao sect, Tang Xiao has always been submissive to the 5 elders because of the things caused by Tang Yao's own brother. He couldn't be tough and kept giving in. But this time Tang Xiao changed. Bang. Tang Xiao slapped the stone table with his palm, and the stone table immediately broke into pieces. Please call me sect leader. Bang. The next moment, a soul power that crushed the whole scene surged out of his body. Shwa. The second elder's face changed. How is this possible? Tang Xiao's soul power has surpassed himself, worthy of being one of the Xiaoyao Gemini. Does the sect master want my Xiaoyao sect to be buried with the whole sect because of the things that evil beast caused? 6 years ago, my son died because of him, which made my lineage break off early. Today, because of him, my right arm was cut off. Tomorrow, will the sect master want me to die in the hands of others because of him? Among the 5 elders, the youngest, Douluo, who had just had his arm cut off, stood up and glared at Tang Xiao. If you ask who among the 5 elders hates Tang Yao the most, it is undoubtedly the 7th elder. For a man, the saddest thing in his life is to lose his wife in his early years, lose his son in his middle age, and fall from the altar at the peak of his career. Unfortunately, the 7th elder Douluo suffered 2 of these 3 things because of Tang Yao. The middle-aged white-haired man sent the black-haired man away, which made him cut off all his lust and inheritance. After years of seclusion, he had just broken through the title, and because of Tang Yao, he was on a mission on behalf of the Xiaoyao sect's envoys, and his arm was cut off. Even with the strength of the 91st level title, his strength was greatly reduced after his right arm was cut off. He hated Tang Yao to death now. Even if Tang Xiao was the sect master, he would not give him any face. After hearing what Douluo said, Tang Xiao was like a deflated ball and fell silent. After a long time, he said silently, I will solve this matter myself, you don't have to worry about it. Unfortunately, his words were ignored directly. The 5 elders stood up and left one after another without giving face. The meeting ended, and the problem was still not solved. Tang Xiao locked himself in the sect master's room. His eyes were fixed on the portraits. There were many people in the portraits, but in each portrait there were 2 young men with faces that were 60% similar. The 2 are none other than Tang Xiao and Tang Yao when they were young. Outside the door, a beautiful figure watched silently, and her shoulders began to shake constantly. Come in, Yuehua. Click. The door opened. When Tang Yuehua walked into the room with tears on her face, Tang Xiao's face no longer had the seriousness of the previous sect master. His brows, which had been tightly locked for many years, finally relaxed, revealing a rare peaceful look. Big brother, before she could say anything else, Tianxing interrupted her directly. I have a task for you. Find Brother Xiaoyao, let him and his children hide well, and never come out again in their lifetime, and then appear in the Soul Master world as a disciple of Yoshin. I will solve the problems of the Ming Empire next. When my father was alive, I was the head of the family and the sky of the entire Yoshin sect. Now that my father is gone, I have to take this responsibility. Protect my brother, guard the sect. On the other side, the law enforcement team formed by the 5 elders of the Yoshin sect quietly left the Yoshin sect. For Tianxing, the 5 elders did not have any hope at all. Report, sir, the 5 great elders of the Yoshin sect led a team of more than 20 people and left the Yoshin sect. Will they be allowed to pass? Chapter 93 Tianxing appears in the huge and luxurious main tent. Hearing the report from the leader of the Great Snow Dragon Cavalry, Nian'an slowly opened his eyes from his nap. Approved. A faint word came out, and the Great Snow Dragon Cavalry quickly retreated. This morning, the Great Snow Dragon Cavalry had surrounded the entire Xiaoyao mountain and the small village on the mountain of the Yoshin sect. Now, all the people of the Yoshin sect cannot go out without Nian'an's consent. As for why Nian'an went out with another identity. Isn't it convenient? If I go out with the name of the Empire of the Great Ming Dynasty. Not to mention, every time I go out, I will be watched like a monkey. Just say that if the Empire is so easy to see, it would be so cheap and not cherished. As for whether he will be assassinated, Nian'an has never thought about it. Not to mention that the probability of being successfully assassinated is almost zero. Just say that wherever the Empire of the Great Ming Empire goes, which country he passes by must greet and receive him with the royal etiquette. I am such a low-key person, not like that, not like that, not like that at all. At the same time, in Tianxing Empire, an invitation was sent to Nian'an's luxurious military camp in Xiaoyao Mountain. Looking at the invitation in front of him, Nian'an raised his eyebrows. Tianxing Empire, State Banquet. Looking at this barren Xiaoyao Mountain, to be honest, Nian'an didn't want to stay here for 3 days. This Tianxing Empire State Banquet, go and see it yourself. On the other side, the news that the Yoshin sect was surrounded and the dispute between the Ming Empire and the Yoshin sect was spreading outward at a very fast speed. Fazno Province. Tianxing now returned to his hidden blacksmith shop. After leaving a letter, no, it should be a paragraph of words next to the iron, he left the Holy Soul Village blacksmith shop again. Noting Junior Soul Master Academy. After Tianxing was served by the passing Ming army, the Big Uzi. Tianxing now only saw that Tianxing entered the Noting Junior Soul Master Academy and went to chase Nian'an's team. A series of events that happened afterwards made him avoid the pursuit of the Ming Empire in recent days. There are also some bounty hunters who were hunting him for the bounty. Therefore, he did not know the identity of his son's girlfriend, Xiaoyao, a 100,000-year soul beast. But when he came to Noting Junior Soul Master Academy for the second time and saw Xiao's true form, his pupils shrank fiercely. 100,000-year soul beast transformed. The true form is actually the same as the one next to that guy. Could it be that this is God's will? Ha 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 ha. Tianxing was born with full soul power and twin martial souls, which inherited his clear sky hammer and Guyan's blue silver empire respectively, which made Tianxing very satisfied. He just thought that this was God's will, and God gave him and his son the opportunity to avenge the Spirit Hall. Until he provoked the Ming Empire, such a behemoth, Tianxing now once thought that the opportunity to avenge the Spirit Hall was just a dream. Now, he knows, he understands. 100,000-year spirit ring, 100,000-year spirit bone, twin martial spirits, they do have a chance of revenge. However, I should be gone. Whoosh! Night. With a strong sound of breaking through the air, in the teacher's dormitory of Noting Junior Spirit Master Academy. In the room, the windows were wide open, the lights flickered, and when the people in the room came to their senses, there was already another person in the room. You are. In the room, a bald man with a buzz cut was shocked. Tianxing now did not answer his question. His right hand flashed, and a token full of gems appeared in his hand. Heaven do 6 ace cards. Your identity is. Tianxing now did not speak, but silently took out another token. I'm relieved to leave Xiao San to you. This is the token of a Yoshin sect. After his strength reaches a certain level, enough to attach a full black 10,000-year spirit ring to the second martial spirit, let him return to a Yoshin sect. There, he will know his life experience, as well as his mission and responsibility. After saying this, Xiaoyao turned around and silently put on the black guard hat. Where are you going? Xiaoyao paused slightly. Go, solve some troubles I have caused before. The man with the crew cut stretched out his hand. Is it because of the Ming Empire? 100,000 troops surrounded Awakens Mountain, and the Xiaoyao sect was trapped. They are forcing you to show up and take the lives of everyone in the Xiaoyao sect. Click. Xiaoyao paused again. 100,000 elite soldiers of the Ming dynasty surrounded Awakens Mountain, and the Xiaoyao sect was trapped. Now the Ming Empire threatened to take the lives of everyone in the Xiaoyao sect and show up. Xiaoyao didn't know. To be honest, he didn't know. After telling Tang Yui what happened, he decided to solve the matter himself and come back to arrange his son's affairs. He wanted to go and see Ayin again, but he didn't expect that Ayin didn't see it, and so many big things happened. In fact, if it weren't for the master, seeing Tang San's second martial spirit, the Xiaoyao hammer, and the recent rumors, Xiaoyao's mainland hunting order. In addition, the Ming Empire has been active recently, and the news of the Xiaoyao sect has become the top stream. In addition, he has a special identity and special information channels, so he may not know this matter. Now the 5 law enforcement elders of Xiaoyao sect have gone down the mountain. It is said that they have made a decision to clean up the Xiaoyao sect. What you need to do now is not to show off. You don't want Xiao San to lose his father at such a young age, right? Hearing this, Xiaoyao turned his head silently. Xiao San is my son. I believe he will understand my difficulties even if I don't say it. Whoosh! Xiaoyao did not stay for the master's retention. After hearing about the dangerous situation of Xiaoyao sect now, he could not stay even more. The figure flashed and left in an instant. 6 years ago, because of me, Xiaoyao sect had to retreat. 6 years later, because of me, Xiaoyao sect was once again in danger of extinction. 6 years ago, because of Ayin's request, I took care of the child and lived for many years. Today, the child has the ability to survive, and I have found someone who can take care of him. This time, I can't retreat again. It's just, Ayin, the situation is critical this time, please forgive me for not being able to explain it to you first. Whoosh! In a mysterious cave somewhere, Xiaoyao took a box and flew straight to the direction of Awakens Mountain. 3 days later. Jinti Mountain Range. Xiaoyao, where are you running? Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Strong sounds of breaking through the air resounded, and soon the figure was forced to stop. Xiaoyao slowly took off the guard cap he was wearing and looked at the 5 people who surrounded him. Finally found you, you evil beast, because a soul beast betrayed the sect, angered the old sect master to death, and put the Xiaoyao sect in danger. Today, I will clean up the door on behalf of the ancestors of the Xiaoyao sect. Xiaoyao's true body. But the huge Xiaoyao hammer suddenly appeared. Everyone, Xiaoyao is not here to fight with you today. Today I want to return to the sect to worship my father, and by the way, solve the crisis of the Xiaoyao sect. Xiaoyao frowned. You're talking nonsense. It's obvious that you can't hide anymore and we found you, if you really want to. Why didn't I see you come back to the sect to pay respect to the old sect master in the past 6 years? Why didn't I see you come to solve the problem of the Ming Empire in the past 3 days? Hearing this, Xiaoyao swallowed. This is the benefit of Nian'an forcing the Xiaoyao sect. Let the Xiaoyao sect clean up its own door. By then, even if Xiaoyao wants to voluntarily travel to the Ming Empire, he will be caught by the 5 law enforcement hall elders. Offend yourself. Wait for everyone to be abandoned and misunderstood by everyone. What is the most uncomfortable thing for blood relatives to be misunderstood? It's easy to kill Xiaoyao, but what Nian'an wants is to vent his anger. Chapter 94 Tang Xiao's Suicide, Xiaoyao's Collapse. Chapter 94 Tang Xiao's Suicide, Xiaoyao's Collapse. After the Tiando banquet, Nian'an returned to the Awakens Mountain military camp. Waiting for the deadline he had given to the Xiaoyao sect. What if Xiaoyao did not show up and the Xiaoyao sect did not catch him when the deadline came? This was never a multiple choice question. From beginning to end, Nian'an only released one message. If the Xiaoyao sect handed over Xiaoyao, he would be spared from death. If not, he would trample on the Xiaoyao sect and kill the entire sect. Nian'an was never just talking. Looking up, Nian'an looked at the setting sun, and a hint of murderous intent gradually emerged in his eyes. I don't know why, in his position, after staying in this position for a long time, Nian'an's murderous intent became stronger and stronger. Once he got a little angry, the first thought that emerged in his mind was a word. Kill. Looking at Nian'an's gradually cold eyes, the great Snow Dragon Rider commander gave the order without hesitation. Ready. Tap 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 tap. Suddenly, the deafening sound of horse hooves resounded through the sky. In an instant, the entire Xiaoyao mountain began to tremble. Under the reflection of the setting sun, countless sun and moon flags began to sway slowly in the wind. Master, Master, something bad has happened. It's moving. The main army at the foot of the mountain has moved. They are starting to take offensive charge postures. A disciple of the Ocean Sect ran into the sect gate like crazy. Before he saw anyone, he began to explain hurriedly and report the movement of the main army at the foot of the mountain of the Ocean Sect. Hearing this, a middle-aged man on the main seat slowly stopped his movements. Looking at the few guards in front of him, a flash of determination flashed in his eyes. Please, after I leave, you must pass on the things I told you to do. Swish. A young man looked at Tianxing with tears in his eyes. Master, can you not leave? Tianxing shook his head, stood up and walked resolutely towards the foot of the Ocean Sect mountain. Seeing that the sunset was about to fall, the 100,000 great Snow Dragon Riders were already ready. Facing the commander's order, they would resolutely execute it without hesitation, even if it would cause them to lose many people. Report, Master of the Ocean Sect, Tianxing wants to see you. The horses' hooves trampled wildly, and the grass and trees flew. Soon, the great Snow Dragon Riders arrived in front of Nian'an. Tick. 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 In the main seat, Nian'an, who was calculating the time, quietly opened his eyes. Tianxing. Sure. To be honest, Nian'an thought that Tianxing would show up today. It seems, I overestimated his character. Tap tap tap. Not long after, a middle-aged man in a black leather jacket and a full beard slowly walked over from a distance. Along the way, Tianxing was shocked by the power of the Ming Empire. I thought that 100,000 elite soldiers were the elite of the Ming Empire, but I didn't expect that it was just what I thought. 100,000 elite soldiers are the lower limit of the Ming Empire, because these 100,000 elite soldiers may all be soul masters. This is very terrifying and shocking. You have to know that these are soul masters, not ordinary soldiers. Now the total number of soul masters of other forces in the whole continent is only more than 100,000, and the Ming Empire alone has 100,000. And this is very likely the tip of the iceberg of the Ming Empire's strength. The soul masters of the Ocean Sect who have retired now, those who have the Ocean Hammer martial spirit, all add up to less than 1,000 people. P.S. The author forgot, and the information said 500, welcome to correct, can be rectified. Less than 1,000 against 100,000, it is equivalent to one person fighting 100, and the chance of winning is almost zero. This is also the reason why the Ocean Sect has never thought of resisting under the oppression of the Ming Empire. What a joke, fighting a war that is impossible to win, and letting the Ocean Sect, which has just retired, completely withdraw from the stage of history. No, it's not worth it, it's not worth it at all. So, in the end, Tianxing stood up. As the leader of the Ocean Sect, he didn't want the Ocean Sect to be completely destroyed by the Ming Empire. Second, as Tianxiao's elder brother, he didn't want to see Tianxiao die under the Ocean Sect and die in front of his eyes. So, he came. He wanted to resolve all the grievances between the Ming Empire and the Ocean Sect today. Seeing Tianxing coming alone, Nian'an slowly raised a smile at the corner of his mouth. It seems that your Ocean Sect is very dissatisfied with the conditions of my Ming Empire and is not prepared to cooperate. Swish. Hearing this, Tianxing raised his head. No, today, I am here to represent the Ocean Sect to resolve the grievances between the Ocean Sect and the Ming Empire. Hearing this, Nian'an raised his eyebrows. What about Tianxiao? Step. Tianxing took a step forward. He won't come again, and you won't find him again. Today, I, Tianxiao, am here to clear up the grudges between my brother Tianxiao and you. I think you, Ocean Sect, are probably mentally ill. I want Tianxiao, what does it have to do with you? After saying that, Nian'an's mouth slightly raised, and suddenly realized that if this matter ended with another ending that he had planned, it would not be bad. If Tianxiao died instead of Tianxiao would not only fall into deep regret, but the people of the Ocean Sect would also resent Tianxiao to a new level. If a son is not taught, it is the fault of his father. My father passed away early, and the eldest brother is like a father. I should take on the responsibility of a younger brother. At this point, Tianxiao's eyes gradually began to become firm. In the setting sun, Tang Xiao's voice was loud and clear, and when it fell into the ears of all other human forces, they were deeply shocked. But the murderer was Tang Dao. Did you know that he almost killed me? Hearing that the envoy of the Ming Empire showed signs of loosening up, Tang Xiao knew that his plan was going to succeed. Now it's a question of the price required for his comeback. I have 3 soul bones. One is the soul bone inherited from the Ocean Sect, one is from my 9th soul ring, a 90,000-year-old right arm bone, and, which is my Ocean Sect's apology to the envoy. On the other side, Tang Yui, who was desperately looking for Tang Dao, received news that her elder brother had arranged a personal guard beside the 5 law enforcement hall elders. He rushed to the Jinti Mountains. Bang! Bang! Bang 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 bang. When Tang Yui arrived here, the battle was still going on. Tang Dao, the angel who came down to earth, hammered 5 people with 1 hammer. Relying on the highest soul power of level 94 and a 100,000-year soul ring, he fought hard with the 5 elders of the Ocean Sect. Stop, stop, don't fight anymore. Don't fight anymore. The 5 law enforcement hall elders were determined to take down Tang Dao and solve the problem of the Ming Empire. Tang Dao wanted to get rid of the 5 elders and settle the feud between the Ming Empire and the Ocean Sect by himself. There was always a mismatch of information between the 2 groups. One thought Tang Dao was going to run away, and the other thought the elders wanted to take him back to the sect. In the end, the 5 elders all used their martial souls, and Tang Dao blew up all his soul rings. In the end, it was a draw, and the world was quiet. Oh no, the sect master committed suicide. At this moment, a 2nd-generation disciple of the Ocean Sect who came in a hurry shouted. The 2 groups that stopped the fight looked up. Hearing this news, Tang Dao's face was blank, and then his eyes were about to burst. Yu Li, help me back to the sect. The 5 elders also staggered to their feet and shouted. In a corner of Aoyu Mountain, Tang Dao looked at the scene in front of him and completely collapsed. Chapter 95. The 2 stars of Ocean, 1 dead and 1 crazy. Chapter 95. Ocean twin stars, 1 dead and 1 crazy. Aoyu Mountain, Ocean Sect's mountain gate. After clarifying his purpose, stating the price of his exchange, and seeing the silence of the Ming Empire's envoy, Tang Xiao began to slowly move his feet. Step. 1 step down, yellow, purple, blab, 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 2 yellow, 2 purple, 5 blab, 9 soul rings flashed. The next moment, the soul power of the peak of level 94 surged out instantly. Bang! Behind him, a huge hammer appeared. The moment the hammer appeared, the ground collapsed, and spiderweb-like cracks spread wildly. Ocean Sect Tang Xiao, apologized to the Ming Emperor's envoy today. The next moment, Tang Xiao clenched his silver teeth tightly, raised his left hand tremblingly, and slashed at his right arm fiercely. Ah! The shrill and trembling voice resounded through the sky. Snap crack. Tang Xiao used his left hand to chop off his right hand. His body instantly fell forward uncontrollably, shaking uncontrollably, his soul power surged all over his body, and a powerful aura swept through his body. A blue thunderbolt suddenly shot straight into the sky. Blood and snot flowed all over the ground, and the strong mental agitation made Tang Xiao's 7 orifices slowly shed tears of blood. The soul power of level 94 instantly dropped to level 84. In a flash, the soul power of level 10 was gone. If it was someone else, perhaps, it would take 20 years to cultivate from level 84 Soul Duo to level 94 Title Duo. Oh, wow. Tang Xiao opened his mouth, but finally couldn't hold it back. He opened his mouth and spit out a mouthful of blood. Tang Xiao, on behalf of all the Ocean Sect, apologized to the families of the murdered envoys of the Ming Empire. As he spoke, Tang Xiao raised his left hand again with red eyes and trembling, aiming at his right leg. Tap 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 tap. At this moment, a series of hurried footsteps rang out. No, said Master. Figures appeared one after another on the Ocean Sect mountain. They all looked at Tang Xiao in shock with red eyes. The next moment, countless people ran towards the figure kneeling on the ground. 6 years ago, I was unable to change the defeat of the Ocean Sect, which led to the sect's forced retreat. Today, 6 years later, I am still unable to change the crisis of the Ocean Sect. The sect that my father handed down to me, the sect did not protect it well, the clan members did not protect it well, and even my own brother, I can only watch helplessly, powerless to save the situation. I think, as the sect master, this brother, I have failed. I'm a failed man. Buzz 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 buzz. In an instant, thunder exploded, and behind Tang Xiao, a huge figure slowly condensed. The figure slowly picked up the ocean hammer and raised it to the sky. Back off. Capture. The next moment, the might of heaven descended, and countless disciples of the Ocean Sect behind Tang Xiao were shocked. At the same time, his left hand also fell fiercely. Crack! His right leg was broken again. Tang Xiao's soul power was more agitated, his figure shook, and his martial soul body behind him was illusory, and he almost couldn't even keep his martial soul body. At the same time, his soul power was also falling madly. Set Master. No, don't continue, Set Master. Watching his own sect master, for himself and for the sect, commit suicide in front of him, but he was powerless to stop it. Countless disciples of the Ocean Sect had red eyes and were about to break their hearts. Among the great snow dragon riders, countless people were moved. Their eyes were red and their noses were sour. As for friendship, the great snow dragon riders had the deepest friendship. They were classmates, trained to become soul masters, slept in the same bed, slept in the dormitory, fought together, in the warring states period, and even had military marriages. Many of them were together. Facing Tang Xiao, he was very moved when he sacrificed his life to protect his brother and the sect. But being moved was moving. When he thought of the 3 Ming envoys who died at the hands of Tang Xiao's brother Tang Xiao, the snow dragon riders tightened their spears. Except for the people of the Ming dynasty, in the eyes of the Snow Dragon Riders, these people were not considered human beings. On the other side, the relationship between Tang Xiao and Tang Xiao shocked the soul masters of all forces. I didn't expect that there really are brothers who would go to such lengths for each other. I'm in tears, who can understand? As the leader of a sect, Tang Xiao has to protect the sect. As a brother, Tang Xiao has to protect his brother. How determined was Tang Xiao to choose to commit suicide to clear his crime? If I have a son, I want him to be Ocean Tang Xiao. Tang Xiao's action shocked everyone, so much so that someone said the classic saying on the spot. If I have a son, I want him to be Ocean Tang Xiao. Indeed, everything Tang Xiao did in his life was remarkable. As the eldest brother, he and his younger brother fell in love with the same woman, Yin, but he gave in out of consideration for the brother's feelings. He withdrew from this love triangle. As the elder brother, when his younger brother made a big mistake and angered his father to death, causing the sect to be in danger, he single-handedly supported the crumbling Ocean Sect and stabilized it. Although he did not do it perfectly, in that case, it was a great blessing that the Ocean Sect was not destroyed and just retired. What else can you pursue? When the elders launched a fight and kicked his younger brother Tang Xiao out of the Ocean Sect, Tang Xiao did not succeed in stopping them. But he successfully stopped the elders from killing Tang Xiao, abolishing Tang Xiao's martial soul and soul power, and taking back the sect's inherited soul bones. And Tang Xiao lost only an identity and a name. Until now, Tang Xiao is still trying to remedy the trouble caused by his younger brother. He did not hesitate to strip off his soul bones, let his soul power plummet, and even sacrifice his own life in the future. The son should be Ocean Tang Xiao. This is the responsibility of the eldest son. All this fell into Nian'an's eyes, and there was no emotion in Nian'an's eyes. Ignorance, pedantry. Outstanding fighting soul hammer, slightly Ocean Sect. Tang Xiao raised his head with trembling lips. After I die, Ocean Sect will not allow anyone to cause trouble to the Ming Empire again. The grudge between Ocean Sect and the Ming Empire has been settled. After this, Ocean Sect will close its mounting, and all Ocean disciples will return. No one is allowed to seek revenge. In the end, at the very end, Tang Xiao is still thinking about Tang Xiao. This time, Tang Xiao decisively raised his left hand, and the target was his chest. No, don't. Set Master. Stop it, Set Master. Wowla. Behind him, a large number of Ocean Sect disciples knelt down. Tang Xiao. At this moment, not far away, several figures quickly ran over. They were the 5 elders of the Ocean Sect's law enforcement hall. As soon as they arrived and saw this scene, they quickly moved their bodies to stop Tang Xiao. Unfortunately, it was too late. Everything was too late. Under the watchful eyes of the crowd, Tang Xiao decisively inserted his left hand into his abdomen, and the next moment, a large piece of bone was pulled out. Tang Xiao's body quickly collapsed to the ground. The huge martial spirit body in midair collapsed. Were you mounting a corner of a mountain? Big brother. Tang Xiao's shrill voice just sounded, and before it spread out, a trembling jade hand covered his mouth. No, no, second brother, if you go out now, big brother's sacrifice will be wasted. Woo-hoo. Tang Yao's pupils dilated rapidly, and then shrank rapidly. Countless saliva flowed out of his mouth. Finally, the pupils dilated rapidly in an instant. In his mind, the scenes of Yin, his father, imaginary, and his big brother, died one by one. He had a mental breakdown, and finally the spiritual sea in his mind was covered with dense cracks. Hee ha 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 ha. Ocean twin stars, one dead and one crazy. Chapter 96 in, is that you? At the foot of Ocean Sect. Tang, Xiao, said Master, you, why are you doing this? Master. When the elders of the 5 law enforcement halls of Ocean Sect arrived and saw Tang Xiao, who had cut off an arm and a leg and peeled off his torso, and had completely lost his breath of life, all of them had red eyes and watched all this with tears. Dead. Tang Xiao is dead. When peeling off his torso bones, he cut off all his vitality and did not leave himself even a little way out. At the main seat of the military camp. The breeze blew gently, and the camp curtain, behind a halo, Nian'an raised his hand expressionlessly. In an instant, the great snow dragon cavalry commander made a move. He took 2 steps forward. Seeing the great snow dragon cavalry commander stepping forward, an old man from the 5 law enforcement halls stood up and glared at the great snow dragon cavalry commander. Are you satisfied now, you cold-blooded person? Facing the old man's complaints and accusations, the great snow dragon rider commander did not respond at all, and stretched out his hand. Instantly, a powerful soul power fluctuation emerged, and 3 pieces of human tissue on the ground began to tremble wildly. Asshole, what do you want to do? After our leader died, are you unwilling to let go of the corpse of the Ming Empire? It can be seen that everyone in the Ocean Sect now fears and hates the Ming Empire. Put it down. Asshole, I asked you to put it down. The great snow dragon rider commander directly ignored the warning of the Ocean Sect elders. Until he picked up the 3 bones, the soul power on his body trembled wildly, and the flesh on the bones was melted, revealing crystal-like jade, exuding a unique luster, and faintly flowing soul bones with powerful soul power. Soul bone, this belongs to my Ocean Sect. Hearing this, the great snow dragon rider commander glanced at the elders of the Ocean Sect with contempt, and said nothing. He took the 3 soul bones without hesitation and turned around and left. You. Nakedly ignoring, the elder of Ocean Sect clenched his fists in anger. Unfortunately, there was nothing he could do. Fortunately, a disciple of Ocean Sect came out to help and gave the elder of Ocean Sect a way out. The sect master said, this soul bone is compensation to the envoy of the Ming Empire. The sect master also said, after his death, all disciples of Ocean Sect are not allowed to seek revenge on anyone when they return to the sect. The leader of the great snow dragon riders slowly took 3 soul bones that had been cleaned and walked in front of Nian'an. My lord, I have taken them back. Under the halo, Nian'an glanced at them lightly, and then looked away. Add them to the national treasury. 3 soul bones, 2 of which are high-quality 10,000-year soul bones of more than 50,000 years. To be honest, it is already very good. Unfortunately, Nian'an doesn't like it. For things like this, he usually throws them directly into his own national treasury to gather dust. Arm your troops. It's over. The drama of threatening the Ocean Sect has ended. Although it is a little different from what he predicted, it doesn't matter anymore. Just as Nian'an was about to set off and return to the Ming Empire. Beside him, the void was illusory, and soon, Long Xiaoyao's voice slowly rang out. The person who ran away that day is here today. Hearing this, Nian'an narrowed his eyes slightly. Call the Blue Silver Saint. Although his goal has been achieved, he should have settled the feud with the Ocean Sect and even Tang Xiaoyao. However, Nian'an still couldn't help but want to stimulate him. Now he should know that his wife is missing and Yin's place of birth has become a ruin, right? If Yin appears by his side now and stimulates him hard, he should feel very happy, right? My lord. Whoosh, with a sound of breaking through the air, a woman in black gauze and a veil on her face slowly walked into the carriage. Others, get out. Glancing at the others in the carriage, Nian'an ordered expressionlessly. Soon, everyone in the carriage left. Only Nian'an and the Blue Silver Saint were left. Come here. Nian'an said as he put his hand on his face. The Blue Silver Saint frowned slightly. Although she received the order from the man, he didn't say that she had to commit herself. The Blue Silver Saint stood there without moving. Until Nian'an took off the halo mask on his face. revealing a young and handsome face, with sharp eyebrows and starry eyes, a head of long black hair casually scattered, a tall nose bridge, and a sharp face. Although there was no extra expression on his face, this face just sat there simply, and the whole body instantly revealed a powerful aura without anger. Your Majesty, seeing this face, even at glance, the blue silverscent was already panicked. Tap tap tap. The sound of high heels stepping on the ground slowly resounded. After a while, a fragrance emerged from the tip of Nian'an's nose. The fragrance was very unique, and it smelled a little bit clear. Come closer. Closer. Looking at the body so close, Nian'an slowly stretched out his hand. He took off the veil on her face. He stretched out his hand and gestured. This face. It was beautiful, but a little too evil. But Nian'an's right hand flashed, and a mask appeared in his hand. A burst of light surged in his left hand, and the golden light became brighter and brighter. Nian'an slowly opened his hand. I don't know, and a leaf appeared in his hand. This leaf looked ordinary at a glance. It was a leaf of blue-silver grass that was common on the roadside. But after a closer look, I found that this leaf was a little different from other blue-silver grass leaves. The blue branch had a little golden halo, which looked noble and holy. Open your mouth, hold it. The moment the blue silverscent opened her mouth to hold the leaf, bursts of golden light flashed in her body. The temperament of the whole body was slowly changing. The red pupils slowly turned blue, and even the black hair was slowly dyed blue. Woo woo hum. Outside the carriage, Xiaoyao's face gradually turned red as she heard this strange sound and watched the shaking carriage. On the mountain of Awakens sect. At this time, Tianxing's eyes were dull. He broke through the layers of strict defense of Awakens sect and wanted to see his elder brother for the last time. But in the end, he stayed outside the main hall of Awakens sect. At this moment, a breeze blew, bringing a faint fragrance of flowers. Smelling this fragrance, Tianxing's body trembled and turned his head suddenly. I saw that in the bright moonlight, a blue figure flashed in the distance. I don't know, and there was light in Tianxing's eyes, and he ran away. Tap tap tap. She ran, he chased, until the edge of the cliff of Awakens sect. Tianxing stopped chasing, and his eyes gradually filled with tears. With trembling lips and dull eyes, he stared at the beautiful woman who appeared under the bright moonlight at the edge of the cliff. Is that you? Chapter 97 Blue Silver King. The past scene was vivid in my mind, just like yesterday. It was like a dream back to 10 years ago. The woman did not respond after hearing Tianxing's words, but just silently stretched out her hand. The next moment, on the ground, under her feet, and on the edge of the cliff, countless blue vines instantly grew densely. Rustle rustle. This is blue silver, it's you, you're in, I won't make a mistake. In an instant, Tianxing became excited. He took his steps and quickly approached in. 1 step, 2 steps, Tianxing slowly stretched out his hand. Seeing that his lover, wife arrived in front of him, about to touch them. The next moment, countless blue-silver grasses seemed to come alive, swimming wildly, and after finding their target, they locked Tianxing's feet tightly. Then came Tianxing's hands and waist, countless vines submerged Tianxing. No, I in. Click. At this moment, a box fell from Tianxing's body. The woman slowly bent down, picked up the box and opened it. Instantly, a blue-silver pattern appeared, which was a right leg bone. Interesting, I didn't expect that there would be an unexpected surprise. The woman slowly spoke, but her voice was extremely cold, which was very inconsistent with her gentle appearance. When the woman looked up again, her blue hair slowly faded and turned black. The blue dress on her body and even the high heels under her snow-white ankles all turned from blue to black. This person was none other than Tianxing, one of the 2 sons of the Ming dynasty's protector of the nation and the Holy Spirit Church. Let me see what is hidden in your memory that makes His Majesty so interested. Swish swish swish. Spiritual. A large amount of black hair suddenly emerged, and the black vines that were entangled with Tianxing suddenly grew black bulbs, piercing into Tianxing's body. The black soul power, relying on Tianxing's body, slowly invaded the opponent's mind and the spiritual sea that had already appeared many cracks. Ah! The black light column shot straight into the sky. Tianxing's shrill scream suddenly resounded through the sky. Suddenly, the still strictly restricted Awakens sect instantly moved. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. At the foot of the Awakens sect, a series of air-breaking sounds resounded. One by one, figures in black robes flashed in the forest. They directly intercepted the first batch of Xiaoyao sect disciples who wanted to check the cliffs behind the Xiaoyao sect. But who dare to trespass into my Xiaoyao sect? Don't you want to live? Faced with the threat of the Xiaoyao sect disciples, no one responded. Many black-robed soul masters just silently released their martial souls and soul rings. Yellow, purple, black, black, black. There were nearly 30 soul duos with 8 soul rings, 2 yellow, 2 purple, 4 black. There were more than 50 soul saints. There were countless soul emperors. How is this possible? Faced with so many high-level soul masters, the disciples of Xiaoyao sect were shocked. Quick, let the elders come over. The soul masters in black robes did not stop them, but just watched. On the other side, the blue-silver saint of the Holy Spirit Church completed her mission. She left without looking back. All the black blue-silver grass disappeared in an instant. Xiaoyao fell to the ground with injuries all over his body. In. Tap tap tap. The crisp sound of high heels stepping on the ground went from near to far. When he thought that Ian was about to leave him, even if he experienced the explosion of the ring, even if he experienced the pain of being pierced by the blue-silver barbs and thousands of piercings, Xiaoyao raised his head with difficulty. What he saw was just a beautiful figure that kept appearing in his eyes and left without looking back. No, Ian, don't leave me again. On the other side, the elders of the 5 law enforcement halls of Xiaoyao sect gathered together. But faced with the inexplicable appearance of a large number of high-level soul masters in black robes, they stopped. Not long ago, because of the capture of Xiaoyao, the 5 elders fought to exhaustion, but it was just a draw. Now among the 5 of them, 3 have not recovered. Even if 2 of them have recovered in half a day, they are not in their prime. Faced with this lineup of nearly 30 soul duos, they can only stand back. Let's go. Seeing that the situation was tense, a cold female voice suddenly rang out from the back of the crowd. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. With a strong sound of breaking through the air, almost in an instant, the more than 100 people who suddenly appeared disappeared. Damn, how come so many high-level spirit masters suddenly appeared? Did they come to the spirit hall because the address of the Xiaoyao sect's retreat was exposed? I don't think so. The matter of the year has been settled long ago. If the Spirit Hall is still holding on to it, then the people who came today should be titled Duo and Super Duo, not these high-level Spirit Masters. The Ming Empire, but they clearly left. Why did they come back? Is it because of Xiaoyao? Will we hide Xiaoyao? I wish I could eat his flesh and draw his blood. Nian'an's guess was not wrong. The death of Xiaoyao, the leader of the Xiaoyao sect, made everyone in the Xiaoyao sect hate Xiaoyao to a higher level. After many spirit masters of the Holy Spirit Church left the Xiaoyao sect, Xiaoyao in the instant came to Nian'an's carriage alone. It was already late at night. If it were any other day, Nian'an would have fallen asleep long ago. But today he rarely fell asleep. Because he was waiting for a message. Found it. As soon as Xiaoyao entered the carriage, Nian'an opened his eyes. Your Majesty, I have found the place you asked me to find in Xiaoyao's memory. Not only that, there is an unexpected surprise. Nian'an raised his eyebrows when he heard this. Xiaoyao's storage ring on her right hand flashed, and a beautiful box appeared in her hand. There were beautiful blue and silver patterns on the box. Seeing this beautiful blue and silver pattern, Nian'an's pupils shrank. He already had a rough idea in his heart. Xiaoyao took the box and handed it to Nian'an. Nian'an opened it. Suddenly, a strong soul power fluctuation appeared. The right leg bone of the 100,000-year-old blue-silver emperor. TSK, this is indeed an unexpected surprise. After saying that, Nian'an closed the box and handed it to Xiaoyao again. I am happy, I reward you. After saying that, Nian'an turned around and returned to his seat. He raised his hand and a cup appeared in his hand. He scooped a little water and slowly poured it into the unique flower and grass potted plant next to him. Find the place, right now. According to the setting of sacrifice in the original book, he got Ian's body. Ian was not dead, but sacrificed his own cultivation. His body survived because of the plant seeds. As long as the other party's years of cultivation are enough, he can still transform and condense his body again. Nian'an didn't know whether Ian would be a brand new person like Xiaoyao after condensing his body again. In an unknown forest. Blue-silver grass everywhere. Nian'an slowly got off his luxurious carriage. The potted plant in his hand seemed to have sensed that he had returned to his hometown, and began to entwine Nian'an's fingers excitedly. As if to thank him. Not only the potted plant in Nian'an's hand, but also that blue-silver grass everywhere swayed when they felt the familiar breath. "Emperor, it's you, are you back?" Hearing this voice from the soul, Nian'an narrowed his eyes. This must be the Blue-Silver King. Chapter 98 Resurrection, my Emperor. When Nian'an brought the potted plant in his hand, oh no, it should be the blue-silver emperor to the center of the blue-silver grass flower sea. A blue beam of light shot straight into the sky. Instantly illuminated the entire forest. In the deep forest, countless blue-silver grasses grew wildly. My most honorable emperor, you finally came back to me. A huge blue-silver grass suddenly bloomed. From this huge blue-silver grass, a blue figure slowly walked out. This is not a person, just a figure. To be more precise, it should be a soul body. That is, a figure transformed by the condensation of soul power. Swish. Who are you? Why is the emperor in your hands? After seeing that there were other strangers at the scene, this figure instantly became alert. TSK, is this differential treatment? You know, when Tianxing came here, he had to release his martial spirit and it took a long time to sense the Blue-Silver King. Now it's good. Ian returned, even if it was just a grass, a breath, the Blue-Silver King ran out happily. It's just a dog licker. He only cared about Ian's breath, and even ignored the breath of other humans. After hearing what the Blue-Silver King said, Nian'an glanced at Tanya beside him. He found that in this sea of blue-silver grass, wherever she went, countless blue-silver grass avoided her, as if they were avoiding the plague god. At this time, the Blue-Silver King's eyes were also staring at Tanya. Obviously, he was wary of Tanya. Don't worry, we are not bad people. As for why your queen has become like this now, I think you should know a little bit. After your queen transformed into a human, she brought back a man, do you know that? I don't know anything else, I just know that your queen's soul ring is on that man. Whoosh whoosh whoosh. Damn it, when I first saw him, I felt that he was unreliable. If I had known earlier, I should have tried my best to stop Wang. In Nian'an's hand, the gold and blue-silver grass kept dancing, showing strong emotions. But this fell into the eyes of the Blue-Silver King and the blue-silver grass people, that was anger. Ian wanted to explain, showing a needy look. Unfortunately, she couldn't speak now, and said nothing. Nian'an could only say whatever he said. Of course, don't get me wrong, we have nothing to do with that man. I picked up your wang in a barren and desolate land in a dark valley. After I picked it up, I took good care of it and insisted on using it myself every day, irrigating it with honey potion. It was skinny before, if it weren't for me. Think about it, that barren land without any flowers, plants or trees, if it weren't for me, your wang might really. Nian'an didn't finish his words, but kept drawing his neck with his hand. Of course, the Blue-Silver King understood Nian'an's hints for such a long time. Don't worry, children, you have worked hard. Bringing Wang back is a favor to all of us blue-silver grass, and for this I am willing to. After saying that, the Blue-Silver King turned to look at Tanya. Child, I can see that you and I are born from the same roots and have the same origin. I just don't know why, what happened, made you embark on the path of devouring. However, I am willing to use all my own strength to awaken your original bloodline as a reward for you bringing Wang back. What do you think? Hearing this, Nian'an narrowed his eyes. He was frantically thinking about the pros and cons. Bringing Tanya here, no, letting Tanya devour Xiaoyao's memory, Nian'an had already begun to plan for the Blue-Silver King. 6 years ago, when Tanya was summoned, she was level 95. 6 years later, Tanya is still level 95. She is not a summoned soul master and cannot rely on her own practice to improve her soul power. The Holy Spirit Church, the 24 deacons, the numerous emissaries, etc. have all made significant progress in the past 6 years. The only possibility is that Tanya's ability to divide the dark blue-silver grass has reached the limit of its development. It is necessary to break through the shackles of blood. It would be good to let the Blue-Silver King sacrifice his life, purify the dark power in Tanya's body, and let Tanya's martial soul return to the original state of devouring other plant lives. Maybe it can go further. But ordinary, with the blue-silver grass that devours blood, how good can it be? At best, because of the talent, it breaks through to the peak of the 98th level super title Douluo, but because of the quality of the martial soul, it stops at 98 and has no chance of becoming a 99th level limit Douluo. I have spent so much effort, but I can only get a 97th or 98th level super Douluo. It is a bit uneconomical, and most importantly, it does not maximize Nian'an's interests. Looking at Tang Yang, Nian'an looked at the Blue-Silver King again, and suddenly a plan appeared in his mind. What is the main purpose of coming here? To revive Ayin. Then let Ayin purify Tang Yang. Looking at Tang Yang, Nian'an knew that there seemed to be a bug. Logically speaking, Tang Yang left the Holy Spirit Church after achieving the title. With the soul ring and soul of the Blue-Silver King that is nearly 200,000 years old, the martial soul has also evolved. But after the system summoned it, it changed a little bit. Since it is said that Tang Yang's martial soul can be changed, then there is no need to rush. Thinking of this, Nian'an raised a barely noticeable smile at the corner of his mouth. Then he made a righteous statement. Family people don't talk about two sides. I picked up this blue-silver grass. As a pet, I'm its owner. Since you can help my friend, you can probably help her. She needs help more than my friend now, so, while speaking, Nian'an pushed Ayin out of his hand. After hearing Nian'an's words, the Blue-Silver King's eyes gradually lit up. Yes, I can turn into a soul ring to help humans upgrade. Why can't I pass on my cultivation to the Emperor? Make it stronger, or even reborn. Why didn't I think of that? Thank you for your understanding. In that case, let our Emperor repay your kindness after he is resurrected. But the moment the Blue-Silver King said this, the world changed instantly. Countless strong winds surged. The sea of blue-silver flowers swayed in the wind, and countless lights gathered. Boom! The next moment, the blue light column was lit, and countless blue-silver grasses grew wildly. The scene in front of him changed rapidly. Seeing such a spectacle in front of him, Nian'an's eyes lit up. With the gathering of countless blue-silver soul powers, a black soul ring began to slowly condense. Emperor, your most loyal believer is here to greet you. Resurrect, my Emperor. Hearing the Blue-Silver King's vigorous voice and shout, Nian'an's blood boiled, and he almost instinctively shouted along. Rise back to life, my loved and. P.S. I updated this late at night. When I saw someone asking for the group number, my anus tightened. And it was obvious that she was a new reader. I was afraid she was a black fan, but her avatar was a girl. I was so confused. Maybe she was a rich woman. Maybe the author could give up writing books, fall in love with a rich woman and reach the peak of his life. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novel, as there you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 99 Resurrection of Yin. In a sea of blue flowers, countless blue-silver grasses were flying. Powerful energy was constantly gathering. In the center of the blue light, in a luxurious potted plant, a golden blue-silver grass was slowly lit up. Then, as if it had taken a birthing agent, its body began to grow wildly and uncontrollably. In this forest, countless blue-silver grasses seemed to have sensed the return of their Emperor, Empress, shaking their bodies madly. After a while, the height of this golden blue-silver grass soon exceeded 1 meter, 2 meters, 10 meters. On the other side, the body of the Blue-Silver King was shrinking madly. Not long after, in the blink of an eye, the body of the Blue-Silver King completely collapsed. It was seen that among this group of blue-silver grasses, the Blue-Silver King, who had the strongest cultivation and the highest age, was gradually shrinking and was about to become a blue-silver grass that could not be more ordinary among millions of blue-silver grasses. Although the Blue-Silver King Ayin had grown in size, he had no intention of transforming at all. Nian'an could not sit still. The reason why Nian'an wanted to sacrifice the Blue-Silver King to Ayin and let Ayin be reborn was just to maximize his own benefits this time. If the sacrifice of the Blue-Silver King could not make Ayin reborn, it would be better to let the Blue-Silver King sacrifice to Tang Yang. Let Tang Yang's cultivation level go further. Unfortunately, it was too late. At this time, Nian'an suddenly flashed in his mind. He had seen the age and cultivation of the Blue-Silver King in a short video in his previous life. Although the Blue-Silver King was second only to the Blue-Silver King Ayin among the many blue-silver grass clans, his cultivation level was only 85,000 years. He relied on special means to use soul power to condense the soul body. Otherwise, the Blue-Silver King would transform. Even if all the 85,000 years of cultivation were sacrificed to Ayin, these cultivation levels would still not be enough for Ayin to reach 100,000 years and successfully transform. Is it going to fail? Nian'an narrowed his eyes, thinking frantically in his mind. His eyes swept over the countless blue-silver grasses. If the sacrifice of these blue-silver grasses could bring about Ayan's rebirth, these blue-silver grasses would definitely not refuse, but Tanya might not have a chance in the future. Unless it is absolutely necessary, this cannot be done, at least it will not maximize the benefits. What can instantly improve a person's cultivation, or make a person stronger? The blue-silver king was sacrificed to Ayan, plus Ayan's own growth in the past few years. At least the time is close to 90,000 years. If there is something that can make the other party's cultivation instantly increase by 10,000 years, maybe it can really be resurrected directly. Do I have such a thing? Blue world plane fragments. Soul tower. No, that's not right, it's not these. In a short period of time, it can make one's own cultivation soar, but, Nian'an's mind roared. Immortal grass. After swallowing the immortal grass, the soul master's cultivation can soar in a short period of time. But this is not the full medicinal power of the fairy grass. The body of the soul master is relatively fragile. The medicinal properties of the fairy grass are preserved in the body to assist the soul master's subsequent cultivation. If the soul beast devours the fairy grass, there is no need to worry about these. Swish. Nian'an looked up. His eyes were fixed on the golden blue-silver grass on the potted plant. I don't know if the other party's pregnancy is really good, or what. He met me. And let me take him to the ancestral land of the blue-silver grass. Not only that, when the other party was almost able to be truly reborn, he happened to meet me who had the fairy grass. Child, I can only say that you are invincible. Nian'an slowly stretched out his right hand. A closer look showed that Nian'an's right hand was full of storage rings. In a gorgeous, colorful storage ring, a light flashed. In front of Nian'an, a light curtain appeared. In the light curtain, there were colorful fairy grasses. A tangled mysterious ice grass. No, the moon spirit is very suitable. Wonderful Jumton Tianju. Narcissus jade muscle and bone. Among the immortal herbs, Nian'an selected for a long time and finally set his sights on the 9th great purple Ganoderma. Although the 9th great purple Ganoderma is not an immortal product, it has the effect of strengthening the foundation and nourishing the essence, replenishing ki and increasing power, and is the best among the Ganoderma. In the original work, the 9th great purple Ganoderma was given to Master Xiaoyao by Tianxing. After Master Xiaoyao took the 9th great purple Ganoderma, he was able to break through the limitations of his talent, break through level 30, and even evolve his spirit later. Therefore, the effect of the 9th great purple Ganoderma should be, go. It's decided to be you, the 9th great purple Ganoderma. Nian'an's right hand flashed, and a purple thing appeared in his hand. Before Tanya could see clearly what it was, Nian'an raised his hand suddenly. He smashed it towards the golden blue-silver grass in the center of the light in front of him. Bang boom. When the 9th great purple fungus entered the blue-silver empire area where it was growing wildly, a roar suddenly exploded the next moment. The purple light illuminated the world. In an instant, the night sky was lit up, and countless soul powers emerged. The night sky above the forest was lit up by the purple light. Fortunately, there was no one here, otherwise it would be easy for others to think that a treasure had been born. Buzz buzz buzz. I don't know how long it took. When Nian'an was bored, he looked around. Suddenly, there were bursts of roars in front of him. Nian'an's body trembled, and suddenly found that the blue-silver grass around him seemed to have sensed something and bent down and crawled. Weird. Only the word weird can explain the situation in front of him. Bang. The next moment, the purple light was slowly covered by the golden light. Countless golden blue-silver grasses spread. The blue-silver grass around seemed to be enlivened, and the next second, it also grew several centimeters. This old servant pays respect to the emperor. The next moment, the blue-silver king's old voice rang out. Then it completely disappeared, and along with his voice, all his aura also disappeared. Nian'an looked up. In the golden light, Nian'an slowly saw the outline of a figure. A head of azure blue hair, delicate facial features, snow-white skin, towering chest, slender waist, a pair of tall and perfect legs, and a pair of blue high heels, appeared. That woman appeared. Nian'an narrowed his eyes and instantly glanced at Tanya beside him. Tanya instantly became alert. Although he said that Ayan was picked up by himself and he kept her as a pet. But this was all Nian'an's own words. No matter what, Ayan's relationship with Xiaoyao and Tianxing could not be shaken off. Just in case, he had better be more vigilant. Maybe Ian didn't know what he did at all. But, he still had to be vigilant. Tag tag. The crisp sound of high heels resounded, and soon after, a pair of long, snow-white legs slowly walked out of the light column. Swish. Swish. Under Zhu Nian'an's gaze, a pair of long legs stepped out of the golden light column, followed by a beautiful woman. The moment the woman walked out of the golden light column, a blue light shone on her body, waves of soul power surged. Then, in Zhu Nian'an's surprised eyes, the woman's body slowly became smaller. The first was the pair of long, snow-white legs, which were obviously getting shorter, followed by the tall chest, and the originally matured face slowly became childish and shy. Is this rejuvenation? That memory, Chapter 100. Yin lost his memory. Has the memory been erased as well? This was Zhu Nian'an's first thought after seeing Yin's body become smaller and younger. Because, this is very similar to Snow Empress. In a rival Tang sect, after Zhu Empress's self-explosion, even her soul became young again, and her memory was blank. If Yin was the same. Then, thinking of this, Zhu Nian'an's mouth slowly rose, revealing a wicked smile. Who can refuse to be the father of Tianxing, the son of destiny? Right. Although he thought so, Zhu Nian'an still wanted to test it. At least to make sure whether Yin's memory was erased after her body became younger. In fact, even if Yin still had the previous memory, it was still not a problem for Zhu Nian'an. After all, Zhu Nian'an had already given up the Blue Silver King and used a 9th grade top-grade medicinal material to revive the other party. After paying such a big price, it is impossible to make wedding clothes for others. What's your name? How should I address you? After hearing Zhu Nian'an's words, Yin's eyes flashed with confusion in the blue light. But not long after, the confusion in her eyes gradually dissipated. My name is Yin. Instantly, Zhu Nian'an's pupils narrowed. Knowing his name, that means he has the previous memory. Swish. Zhu Nian'an raised his hand, and the golden light in his hand gathered. Again, if I resurrect Yin, it would not be a wedding dress for Xiaoyao and Tianxing. Since the other party still has the previous memory, I'm sorry, I can only imprison Yin and exchange enough value for myself. Swish. Before Zhu Nian'an could make any move, Yin bowed and performed a set of silky small combos. Yin thanks you for saving my life. Thank you for picking me up from the remote and desolate place in the canyon, carefully nurturing me, taking good care of me, and irrigating me day and night. Thank you for traveling thousands of miles to find my birthplace. Thank you for giving me precious natural treasures to help me regain my life. After saying this, Yin slowly raised her head, staring at Zhu Nian'an with a pair of smart eyes full of gratitude. I have no way to repay you for your great kindness to me, and I guess it will be difficult to repay you in this life. Yin has been wandering outside for half a lifetime, but fortunately, I was reborn with the help of my benefactor. I am willing not to abandon you. Hearing this, Zhu Nian'an's eyes narrowed fiercely, and he interrupted her without waiting for her to finish. I am still short of a maid. If you really want to repay this kindness, stay with me. Although Zhu Nian'an didn't know what Yin was doing, he suddenly came to his senses amidst the voices of gratitude. Before the other party finished speaking, he interrupted directly. Swish. After hearing Zhu Nian'an's words, Yin looked up instantly. Without any hesitation. Okay. Just a simple word, okay. After hearing the other party's words, Zhu Nian'an raised his eyebrows. Zhu Nian'an really didn't expect Yin to agree. Since he had the previous memories, shouldn't Yin go to find Xiaoyao and Tianxing the first time he was reborn? Zhu Nian'an was puzzled. Why did the other party agree? Do you know Xiaoyao? Zhu Nian'an couldn't help but ask. After hearing Zhu Nian'an's words, Yin's beautiful eyebrows frowned slightly, and in his mind, a familiar figure kept flashing. But every time he tried hard to see the familiar figure in his memory clearly, the familiar figure in his memory would gradually blur. Should I note him? Yin shook his head. But seeing the inexplicable smile on Zhu Nian'an's mouth, he asked in confusion. There was no emotion in Zhu Nian'an's eyes, and it was unclear whether he was sad or happy. What about Tianxing? Do you know him? After hearing Zhu Nian'an's words, Yin only felt unusually familiar, but she didn't have any memory of Tianxing in her mind. No. Looking at Yin, Zhu Nian'an's face was expressionless, and he turned to look at Tanya. I have a friend here, I hope you can help her. After hearing Zhu Nian'an's words, Tanya released her martial spirits without hesitation. Suddenly, a strong aura of death and devouring power emerged. Yin frowned. In theory, I should unconditionally carry out the benefactor's instructions, but this friend's dark power is too strong. I think it has eroded every inch of her body. I can't remove it in a short time. Hearing this, Nian'an waved his hand. Don't worry, as long as we can remove this dark power and awaken her true martial spirit, time is not a problem. After saying that, Nian'an turned to look at Xiaoyao. Before clearing the dark power, absorbing the soul bone may speed up the process. Hearing this, Xiaoyao nodded. Then, without any hesitation, she sat cross-legged on the ground. She took out a piece of bright lead bone and started to absorb it directly. Seeing Xiaoyao take out this soul bone, Nian'an frowned obviously. She just felt familiar, very familiar. Seeing the other party frowning, Nian'an spoke. Do you feel familiar? Nian'an nodded. That's because this soul bone came from you. But this soul bone was snatched from another man. I should have returned it to you, but my friend really needs it. I hope you can understand. After hearing Nian'an's words, the confusion in Nian'an's eyes gradually cleared up. I understand, I understand. Nian'an was saved by the benefactor. Not to mention a piece of bone, even Nian'an, this life belongs to the benefactor. Hearing this, Nian'an did not speak, but just stared at the other party silently. To be honest, until now, Nian'an couldn't tell whether Nian'an really lost her memory. Was it because the energy to revive her was not enough, causing her to return to her childhood? Would her memory be restored after a while when her soul power increased? Or was it because of something that her memory suddenly restored? I don't know, Nian'an doesn't know. But, all this is not important. Looking at Nian'an, who was sitting cross-legged behind Xiaoyao, assisting Xiaoyao in absorbing the soul bone. That graceful body, the tender skin that could be pinched to produce water, that beautiful voice, Nian'an suddenly understood Xiaoyao a little. For such a woman, going against the spirit hall, doesn't seem so difficult to understand. To understand Xiaoyao, to become Xiaoyao, and even to surpass Xiaoyao in the end. Thinking about it, Nian'an suddenly felt a surge of evil fire in his heart. Two women with graceful figures and super high looks, sitting cross-legged on the ground, the soul power surging out, blowing up the skirt from time to time. To be honest, it really tortured a young and strong man like himself. Turning around, Nian'an left the forest. A few hundred meters out of the forest, the great snow dragon riders and the spirit masters of the Holy Spirit Church gradually came into view. Be alert, if the blue silver sun doesn't show up, don't let even a mosquito pass by here. Swish, swish, swish. Yes. The deafening response of the great snow dragon riders was ignored by Nian'an. He turned around and pulled Xiaoyao into the luxurious carriage. I'm a little angry now. Without waiting for the other party to react, Nian'an suppressed the other party with one hand and hit him on the head. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.